putting on my fake smile, even though I'm wasting time. I don't wanna be trapped in a box, trying to be like the rest but I'm not. I just wanna go my own way, gonna let the past burn down. Cause honestly, don't wanna be stuck in boring conversations with you. With you, I'm gonna leave it all behind, find myself, I'm gonna start over new. Yeah, I'm on my way now. 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 I'll be going away for a while. Oh, and I don't know what I'll find. Maybe I can be a rock star, playing songs on my guitar. I know I have to be somewhere else to be able to find myself. Shouldn't be so complicated. If I listen to my heart, I'm gonna leave it all behind, find myself, I'm gonna start over new. Yeah, I'm on my way now. 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 I don't want
Let's get ready to rumble!
I just hit in off top in the corner. Welcome back to another Hockey Nation Live Tonight Show with the Hockey Coach, Gold Coach Franchise directly for the beautiful country of the land of the smile in Thailand. The country of the nightlife, maybe, I don't know. But we have Mr. Inarta back in the house directly from the caveman somewhere in Toronto, willing to talk about what the free agency NHL 2023. Mr. Inarta, welcome back in the house.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Thank you.
You ready
Coach.
again? After an
It's been a
amazing, great
busy,
weekend in
busy
Toronto, Mr. Inarta,
UFA.
what did you been with all the Canada holidays, right? It's July 1st, yesterday.
Canada Day. Yes, yesterday. Yes.
There we go.
Indeed, a great
We
day.
are between everything,
Nice
Mr. Inarta,
fireworks.
because yesterday Canada and tomorrow is about tomorrow, yes. And today is going to be the
July 4th.
July 4th and USA.
USA.
Another great day over there. I can remember all that fun thing happening in USA during that time of July, crazy war. That time of the year, Mr. Tap, in July, usually the last couple of years, I'm on the road. Like usually I left my home in July and June to go to the NHL draft. It's rare the NHL draft is after June 25th. Usually it's a bit earlier, or 28th. Usually you have 1 week between the NHL draft and the UFA. And this year they put this together. A lot of people in the hockey, they love it. They really love it. They really like the way they did that this week, last week. So we'll be interesting if the NHL are going to continue this time, the thing happening about that. So we'll see this on the top. Tonight we're going to talk about everything happening in NHL free agency. The last 2 days, a lot of things happening up front team, a lot of bad contract, great contract, a lot of team move. We're going to talk about everything. I'll point at her head over there on the top here, guys. Yes, we put something. I tried to put the most the name over there, guys, but I cannot. Yeah, too many but hopefully that will helping you a little bit see which player are signing a new contract with different team. I didn't add any players extension contract, exemption B-Ram with the Colorado or Johnson with Colorado, not the Eric, but the Jack Johnson or any other players signed an extension contract with their own team. I did not put their name there. It's only UF3. And again, it's not complete. It's just with everything I get, I did it this morning for about 30, 45 minutes. So, Mr. Tap, that's what we got, Mr. And I Tap, you're in the house tonight. You're going to be with me for the next 60 to 90 minutes, right? You're not going nowhere. At the end, Mr. Tap, we have a quiz, a boring quiz tonight, Mr. Tap. It's a lucky turn you flip your quarter because it's all about years and numbers. So, but you never know. Maybe you know exactly everything like you do usually at the quiz. Mr. Tap, tonight we're going to talk about what? We're going to talk about the review, the winner and the loser of the NHL Free Agency 2023. Like Toronto did something, like Anaheim, Detroit, really busy days. They have the last 2 days, about 3 teams. And then, don't forget, guys, every day I make an app daily news or a video about the Montreal Canadiens. Today, I talk about Eddie can kick out of the team the next possible Mike Hoffman. So don't forget to watch my video every day, guys, at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock a.m. This video is out of the building. And then, if you have a chance to sign or to subscribe for that channel, the new Ab Nation, we're still working on it. Don't worry, it's going to happen at some point. But that's what we're going to create for the Hockey Nation, Mr. Natap. That's it. That's all. The good news, Mr. Natap, we have someone back in the house. He was somewhere around the Halifax, but now he's back with his beautiful Dementra. I'm talking about Mr. Natap, who Rick Bengal is in the house tonight.
Sir Rick.
Talk about greatness. We just talk about Rick Bengal. But what about the angel? The angel, the one we don't never see. He's behind everything, but he's an angel. Mr. Natap, I'm talking about directly de l'ange gardien à Québec. Mr. Luc Lafortune is in the house.
Hey, Luke. I don't know about the angel part.
Exactly, Mr. Natap. L'ange gardien is in the house tonight. Well, a lot of people, Mr. B. BA is in the house. Welcome back, Mr. B. Long time we didn't see you in the house. The KLS knocked the door. What about the WWE Championship light bell that we got, like light division? They're still working on maybe to go on the middle, on the medium. Man, I'm talking about Willie Snyder is in the house, Mr. Natap.
Welcome, Willie.
And Franco Iacono. Franco is dans la région de Saint-Léonard. But it could be Saint-Henri at Montreal. Not sure with him. But Franco is back in the house of Saint-Léonard. Saint-Léonard, maybe. Who knows? Franco, welcome back.
He's from Italy. That's all we need to know.
They are everywhere, Mr. Natap. We accept everyone. We have Mr. The Sharks from Nashville. He was very active the last couple of days. The Sharks are from Nashville. He's from Nashville, so a lot of activities with the NHL. Plus, our friend Sebastian is in the house tonight.
Sebastian, welcome.
Our co-host of the Wednesday night, Montreal, called the Ab Barbecue Show, the Wednesday night. We welcome back. Marco Larabie is in the house. Between it, many things going on his live the next couple of days.
Welcome, Marco. Jump on, Marco. Jump on.
Exactly. He's still armor something. I don't know, but he's ready. July 17th, I believe, is a big move for Marco. We'll see. LH is in the house, Mr. Natap. L. Ensign is in the house. Followed by Joseph Phillips. Phyllis, welcome back, both of you. Thanks to be with our Canadian Live show. One more.
Welcome, guys.
By the way, Adam is going to be in Italy Friday. I have an amazing, great trip. Adam, by the way, I got your picture. He got the banners. Going to make this tomorrow. Going to put the picture of the Adam. Got the banner of the Stanley Cup champion of the who? The Colorado Vegas Golden Knight, Mr. Natap. Try to pick it up everything. Roger. RJ is in the house, Mr. Natap. RJ is in the house tonight. RJ is the leader with you and Nicolas de Gauby Bonneau. with the leader of Frenchy Quiz. We have a Frenchy Quiz tonight. Talking about when Nicolas the Bonnie Gun Bono is back. The Bono. He's in the house tonight. Nicolas, welcome back. We miss you, my friend. I don't know what's happening to you. Hopefully you're doing well. The last couple of days, we did not see our friend, le Tenant. On l'appelle le Tenant. Ça me rappelle a TV show in Montreal, it's called Les Tenants. The title of the show was Les Tenants. I think it was Pierre Marcotte. Pierre Marcotte. Is it possible? I don't know. Shirley Theroux and someone else. Michel Louvain, I have no clue. Maybe Luc Lafortune, 1946, he saw that show, M. Tap. I don't know. He would tell us what happening on that show for sure, M. Tap. Franco, M. Tap, said to you.
We have a timeout. We have a breaking news.
Here we go.
Breaking news. There's been a trade. The Minnesota Wild get Pat Maroon and Max Kikochevich, and the Bolts get a 2024 7th-round pick, and they retain 20% of Maroon's salary.
Wow.
Breaking news. Just happened.
Maroon, he went to the Stanley Cup, won the Stanley Cup 3 times with the Tampa Bay and the St. Louis Blues. The 4 line would be really his friend. The bottom 6 are the Lightning will be really his friend without Perry, Colton, and Maroon now out of the lineup, Mr. Tap. Thanks for sharing with us.
Absolutely. No problem.
We're going to talk about this right away, Mr. Tap. What do you think? Commenting on the Liam Anderson joined the Montreal Canadiens and DUARTE leaving the Habs. So we give you that opportunity. We want to welcome Mr. Sébastien. I think we mentioned, Mel is in the house before that one over there. Joël Daigle is from Sherbrooke. Nos parents avec Alexandre Daigle. Welcome back, Joël Daigle, dans la belle région du Québec, dans la région de Sherbrooke, avec notre ami Nicolas is in the house. Mr. Tab, during time, you can pick it up here. What do you think about Liam Anderson, the new player for the Montreal Canadiens?
Well, I think that's more of a reaction because there's going to be a lot of players that have already left, like Belzil and Richard as well. It's more to help bring in some experience in Laval, and because you're going to have a series of a lot of prospects, young prospects on that team this year. And so with that, you need some experience that comes along that even though he's only, I think, 24, 25 years old himself, but he played very well last year in the AHL. I think it's the affiliate team of...
so again?
I forget which. He was on the affiliate team of whom last year?
Las Vegas Kings. Play for Reign in California.
Minnesota. That's right. And he had a very successful year there. So I think it's more of a reaction just to fill in that spot in Laval. So we'll see if it leads to anything, but at least it'll help Laval. That's for sure.
So it's a project. 7 overall pick. I think I'm right with 7 overall pick by the New York Rangers. The time Jeff Gordon was there with Bob Brave, never reached his full potential in NHL. He got traded to the St. Kings a couple of years ago, and then since that, again he struggled to make the NHL on the base, on the consistency to stay in the NHL. Yeah, up and down, some call ups, and. The story of him as a 7 overall pick, he always 1 or 2 guys, always happening every year, almost every year in NHL. Pulju Javi is another one, Mr. Natap, where, from Edmonton to Carolina, is a UFA. Koreanoff, yes, but he was not the top 10 Koreanoff, so it's not the same situation. Remember the defenseman for the Vancouver Canucks, 4 overall pick. I will screw his name. It starts with the Ojularvi or something like that. He played a couple of teams. Yeah, he's a defenseman, and he never reached that potential in NHL, unfortunately for him too. I think he was drafted by the Edmonton Oilers at the beginning, or the Vancouver Canucks, or they play. I think it's Vancouver Canucks. And then Griffith Reynard is another one.
Yeah.
Never for the New York Islanders, never reached that. So this is what is Anderson, honestly, for the Montreal Canadiens. So it's going to be a good asset in the Laval Rocket. And under the move, the reason did
I
it,
think
Mr.
so.
Tap, that Montreal lost Anthony Richard from the Laval Rocket. When Richard will play 9 game, 10 game with the Montreal Canadiens. And that will add a little bit more the some kind of experience and like Anderson inside the Laval Rocket. So hopefully we'll give you guys a couple information. By the way, Mr. Antap, the show tonight is going to be more about the queue for the people in the chat. So we'll talk about fun thing happening in the free agents. I would like to, because we missed a couple of nights here, the last 2-3 nights. Any question you have about the player got signed or anything happening with the team, whatever, ask a question, put a little queue. I'm going to go through this tonight like we never do. Tomorrow night, it's all about the Montreal Canadiens. You can ask questions about Montreal, but tomorrow night, I'm really focusing Mondays and Wednesdays all summer. Maybe we have 1 week we're going to be off, but they're going to. This is the show for the Montreal Canadiens. We're going to have some people pop up at some point to join us live at the Mondays and the Wednesday, and then in our top is a backup. He show up at any time at some point during the weekend. The Monday to Sunday to Thursday, we are off all summer. The Friday, Saturday, at least something happening for the Montreal Canadiens, Mr. Tap. We have I got a question. First of all, welcome the new people. Papa, we don't mention your name, like John Garage or pop up at the last minute. Gary Cournoyer, the Roadrunner, is in the house. We have a question from Dan. Dan Hasham is on the one with Colette. Dan said, how much did the Rangers sign Wheeler for, Mr. Tap?
I believe it was just under $1 million, I believe. Wasn't it?
Over a little bit, 825 or 875.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, you got to keep in mind, I mean, on the surface, that sounds like a small amount, which it is, because it's at the base of the salaries. But don't forget, these players, some of these players that are making that amount of money were bought out. So technically, they did get that sum of money from their previous team. So this is an additional flow of salary from a different source. So at the end of the day, they're actually making more money than they were before when you look at it that way.
Yeah, absolutely right about that. Second thing I would say to you, Mr. Hunter, you have 2 things you learn in the first 2 days, because days number 2 is almost over. For me, what I can sharing with you is 2 things. First of all, the salary cap make a big impact of the UF3 now. A lot of teams are really at the wall, or they are over cap and they struggle to make a bigger signature because they have no money. And they have they have to be really good to make some kind of motivation about what's going on with their contract and with their salary cap, because they're struggling to make some space. And this is a reason why the money is not flowing everywhere in NHL at that moment. The second thing, the salary cap are going increasing, Mr. Antap, this next year and the following year. This is like they know they are increasing $3 million, maybe the next 2 years, maybe $8 million. So a lot of contracts are coming for only 1 year, because they expect next year the team have more money on the table to sharing and to get more money to sign a player. So a lot of players sign 1 year contract. It's happening everywhere, every team. Boston Bruins, example, signed 3-4 new players, all of them 1 year. Toronto, Bertuzzi is one reason. Domi is one reason. Glenberg is another reason. Toronto, we can talk about Toronto a little bit later. But you can understand, Mr. Top, the reason behind the door, why the not many get long-term contract is really the reason behind. The agent and the player take that chance to wait 1 more year and see when the team have more money, how they're going to spend it. So I don't know if you want to add something or comment about what I just mentioned to you, Mr. Top.
Yeah, we're seeing this year, especially that the contracts, the term on these contracts, with the exception of maybe a handful of players, have been very small, and that's partially because some teams were right up against the salary cap, but more importantly, I think is they're trying to navigate their way through this the raise that will be in the salary cap next year and the year after. I mean, nothing's written in stone. We're told that it might go up, 5-6 million over next year, but they have to be very careful how they navigate through this right now, because they could find themselves in a serious situation down the road.
You're absolutely right about this. Two things I want to add too about what you just said, Mr. Tap. So every team, guys, in the NHL during this off summer, they can exceed 10% of the salary cap. So now it's 83.5. So every team could add 8.35 million dollars over the salary cap. So that gave them approximately, Mr. Tap, like $92 million they can have at this moment. That's the one thing the team can do during the summer. But secondly, they don't want to use the long-term injury reserve right away during the summer because that can give them a problem during the season. I don't want to talk about that. I'm going to make a video about that rule because a lot of people don't understand why not to put Carey Price right now on the long-term injury reserve that open up $10 million, and other team can do the same thing with Marsden, example with the Toronto Maple Leafs, because you don't want to use that money. You want to be close when the season start at 83.5. You're going to see it, guys, October 11, when the season starts, or 13. They will try to everything try to catch to maximize their cap close, because after that, when the season start, they can extend the player on the long term, and that money it's flexible now all year long for the team, so they can have a bad contract, they make a trade, and they can pick up the money. When you have a Carey Price already and the long terms on the summer, this is the max they can get. So 83 plus 10 million is 93 million. They cannot do anything after that. They cannot add more money and the bank, and they are stuck for the rest of the season. They cannot play anything. So team are really cautious about this. It's really hard to understand everything, but we're trying to make a board about this new rules. Finally, another rules, Mr. Top, you need to understand, what people need to understand. People asking me, oh, they can buy out tomorrow, Hoffman or everything like that. You cannot buy out. So my point to you guys, you have a specific time to buy out your players' qualification. It's happening. I think it was the day before the UF3. I think it's the example 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. You have to release your buyout for NHL. Why before UF3? Because the player, you don't want to screw up players like today. Buyout of men, now he become UF3. He missed the UF3 market. Does it make sense, Mr. Top?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Yeah,
the second thing, you can buy out, Mr. Natap, one more or two more. It all depends. If you are going to be on the salary arbitration, right? So if one of your players are going to be on the salary arbitration, you or give them an offer contract, and you're going to go on the salary arbitration, that'll give an extension for that buyout. So if Montreal going to be, I don't know, with the bring RHP on the salary arbitration example, now the Montreal Canadiens could have a buyout because of that situation for that. So they can buy out Mike Hoffman if ever they are going to that direction. So does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Andre Robert Drouin, Mr. Natap, is in the house tonight. Mr. Andre, welcome back in the house. Thanks to be with us. What a pleasure. William McClary, Mr. Natap, is in the house.
Welcome,
Thanks so much. Marco said the Pat Maroon to the wall, Mr. Natap, at 90% out to make it to the final. I'm sorry about that. Can you say what you said?
Yeah, wherever he goes, he's a good luck charm. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I'm sorry about this. Adam said, what do you say about Reaves for the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Well, on the surface, I like it, Coach, because when you stop to think about it, first of all, I don't think Simmons was doing the trick, and he was a little bit more of a liability on the ice as well whenever they did bring him into the lineup. So Reeves comes in, and he's very much, an energy kind of guy that on the fourth line will allow those players like Marner, Matthews, and Nylander, Tavares to skate around a little bit more without that worry that we saw in the playoffs last year. And it does have that intimidation factor, does have an effect. My only concern is the length of the term, because we're talking about a guy, I believe he's 36, if I recall correctly. And so this contract would bring him to 39, almost 40 years of age. It's a gamble that they take. And the other thing I worry about is, I mean, the NHL. Okay, the regular season's the regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, there isn't that much fighting that goes on anymore. There's a lot of, after the whistle, a glove in the face, and a little cheap shot here and there, that kind of thing, just to make their presence known. But teams aren't willing to go on the penalty kill because, let's say, Reaves came on and decided to send a message to somebody on the other team. Number one, the other players on the other team won't engage, and so he might draw a roughing penalty for 2 minutes, and that puts the Leafs in a disadvantage. So I don't know. Is it effective in the playoffs? Is he going to play much? He's a bit of a liability defensively. I think it'll do wonders for their energy level and uniting the team, because he has that kind of pull, that magnetism. And I think that's what the Leafs needed in the change room. But overall, I don't know. I think maybe it's a little bit more than what we would want to see.
Yeah, I can understand. I think you hit very well about Reeves. Now we have a classic season, guys. We want to have a matchup between Ryan Reeves and Milan Lucic now for the Boston Bruins, Mr. Tap. So both of them are going to represent their team. Now we said to you, Mr. Tap, about Reeves. I see this more like a leader inside the locker room. Like he's really, really good as a teammate, bring some kind of energy inside the locker room. And secondly, if you look about the reviewing the playoff this year, Toronto got pushed a lot by the Florida Panthers. Not like fighting anymore, but they pushed a lot after the whistle. Look what Akudas did for them. Look about what he did. Kachuk example. Bennett with against the Toronto Maple Leafs. So to have a Ren race on the bench is something happening right there. I think that would fit the Toronto Maple Leafs if they need it. It's not about fighting anymore because you don't have a lot of fight anymore. But I think that's kind of the security, right? If you have something happen, guys, you cannot go to push around anymore because we have him. They have some kind of player like Luke Shine. You said to me, yes. But I think Reeves a really good reputation about that. Again, the longevity of the contract is $3 million, Mr. Tap, but at $1.1 million for the salary cap increasing for the next 3 years, that's not going to be about this. One thing I would say to everybody now, when you're looking about the money AAV, or the player make $12 million now, the new contract on Matthews, guys, I would say to you guys, evaluate the percentage of the piece of the pie of the players on the salary cap. So, example, if the player signed for $10 million, that's maybe 8.9% on the salary cap. That's what you have to look about this, how this really well, how the SNGM looking about this now. It's not about the money they make the AAV more. It's more about the percentage you're going to go through the next 8 years. This year at 83.5, Matthew's example is maybe pick up 13% of the salary cap right now. But if the salary cap increasing tomorrow, now you drop at 11 or maybe at 10 or 9 or 8. You try to get around 8%, 9% for your best player. It's not happening a lot, but not every team do this. But that's how they evaluate Mr. Tap, or they try to qualify the template or the best template at the salary cap. So I don't know if it makes sense to you.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, it's just late. Framboise in the house, Mr. Tap. And then what do you think about Jonathan Drouin with the color of an inch, Mr. Tap?
To me, it's not a surprise. We knew he was hitting the free agency this year. And, at this point, it was all about what was he willing to take. And I think that, Colorado, it's a good pickup for them. You get reunited with McKinnon, where they had a lot of magic together when they played together back at junior. The possibility that he puts up, 50 to 60 points is not out of the question. I think it's a good move for Colorado. It's definitely a depth move, and we'll see where this takes them. But expect them to have a good year. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, a lot of people talking in the chat, Mr. Tap, right now. I would like to hear from you at the same time. What do you think about the Bertuzzi 1 year contract at $5.5 million for the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Yeah, I'd like to know what's wrong with Boston. I mean, eh, how they don't sign Bertuzzi is beyond me. Perhaps he wanted too long of a contract and too much money, and Boston's not. We know they're traditionally a little bit stingy when it comes to those kind of conditions on a contract, especially the amount. So, what did he do? He saw that there wasn't much action happening on the actual free agency day on Saturday. So he's now betting on himself. He's coming over to the Leafs for 1 year at a much reduced amount. I think it's 5.5 that he's getting with the Leafs, and he's banking on the fact that he's gonna, either play with Matthews, or he's gonna play on the Tavares line, which are probably the first line, I would say, and he's gonna put up some good stats, and that should hopefully drive up his value for next year when he enters free agency again.
Yeah, so all right. Don't forget, everybody, to click on the like if you don't mind. If you not already did it, that would be appreciated. You can click on the like. That'd be awesome. We are really behind, Miss on top. My feet right now is like 6 hours behind right now.
Burning.
I will do my best. I can pick it up, everybody, guys, about your question. I will say to you for the reason behind Bertuzzi, guys. Always remember the red flag behind him is injuries. So just remember, he got hurt for the last 2-3 years with the Detroit Red Wings. He's very complete the season. But again, the Boston Bruins paid a lot for the Detroit Red Wings in return. But now he let him go. But again, as a player, guys, I said earlier, they try to get the more money for the upcoming season. Example, like Pacioretty got a $2 million for the Washington Capitals. Talking about Pacioretty, guys, Marco asked you what you thought about Korpisalo with the Ottawa Senator contract of 5 years at $4 million, I believe he has.
I think it's great for Ottawa. They were in search for a goalie. Now they have, a couple decent pieces. Some people don't have much confidence in Korpisalo. I think he's more than adequate, and I think he'll definitely help Ottawa. I think it was a great signing. I see now a bit of a hole in LA. I know that Copley had a decent year this year, and hopefully things will continue along those lines. But they need to improve that situation, LA. I know they've made some other moves, but I'm not sure, to be honest with you, whether LA got any stronger. I know they got
that
Dubois,
part, right?
but yeah, but they also have some flags there, right? The same flags that we were raising about Dubois. Now LA can raise those same flags, and hopefully he does well for them. But you never know. You never know.
All right, Mr. 83 ask you, Mr. Tap, or he asked a question, but I hope the app could move Amir and Hoffman event if the future consideration. What do you think about his comments? And I want to add after you if you have something I can after that.
I think right now Hoffman is their first priority in terms of Hughes trying to get some kind of deal for him. It's on the back burner from what I gather. Armia is a little bit of more difficult situation to move. I think Hoffman is more possible. You won't get a king's ransom, obviously, for him at this stage, but just like Edmondson, we did get the third and the seventh. It cleared a guy that right now you have serious concerns about his back and whether he'll be able to stay healthy. He was on a little bit more in age. Hoffman right now doesn't fit into Montreal's plans. They're going to try to move him, or at some point they might release him, but I don't think they'll go the route of the buyout.
Yeah, great point about this. You watch my video today. It's all about that, right? It's exactly what you talk about. Like Hoffman is the next one for Montreal Canadiens. And Montreal not going to leave him alone. Like they're not going to future consideration. They have to grab 50% of the salary cap on top for It's about
Yeah.
$2.5 million, and then they maybe let him go after that and get not much in return. It's more about open the spot at only anything else for Mike Hoffman. Is in my video, I explain exactly what could happen for Mike Hoffman. Other option, Montreal does not want to use buyout. Ken Hughes does not believe on this, and he don't want to give a player just to give a players. He doesn't. He does not believe on that one over there. And again, he does not want to give a prospect to compare for just to save more money on the salary cap, Mr. Tap. So that's what I believe they're going to do. And our real problem, he has 2 years contract with the Montreal Canadiens. Very difficult to move a player like Armia, and no money have money.
Yeah.
No team have money. So I think Armia is going to be the only player can move, in my opinion, is really Mike Hoffman. Now, you can have a trade with Christian Dvorak at some point, but they are the three players that I believe Montreal tried to do something about that.
Yeah, actually, Coach, I just read today that apparently Dvorak will be undergoing knee surgery, and he's not gonna be ready for the start of the season, and
Yeah,
that's the primary reason why he hasn't been dealt yet.
yeah, there is. Yeah, exactly. So Dvorak is going to miss the first 2 or 3 weeks at the beginning of the season. They was expect when he went for the injury or his knee, I believe, that he'll be ready for the season. But it looked like he's going to miss in the beginning of maybe end of the October. He's going to return with the Montreal Canadiens. So this is another way they have difficult time to trade him. Carlos Benavides is in the house, Mr. Tap. He talk about what you think about
Welcome,
Max
Carlos.
Domi signature, Mr. Tap.
I mean, again, it's a 1-year deal. I believe at $2.5 million that the Leafs picked up. It does give him a little bit more depth. It gives him a bit more grit. Again, not a great defensive-minded player, but he's going to fit in very well offensively with the team. I can't see how that hurts them. I just question, like, when I look at the moves that the Leafs made, I just question whether they addressed their needs, and their needs primarily were to get a solid defenseman or two. They haven't addressed the goaltending situation right as of yet. I know they'll more than likely probably sign Samsonov.
I say they will sign something up. They will get something up. It's just they just wait for the money they have on under the salary cap before they give him a contract. I believe he will get a 1-year contract at $4 million.
I was hearing more along 5, but I mean, you might be right. It depends on what's left over in terms of salary cap space. Murray will obviously be let go, and I think even somebody else like Brody maybe has to go. Somebody else up front on the third or fourth
Or
line
they have a
as
Brody
well.
can go out. They can move. They can
Yeah.
move. They have Chuck Crock or John Crock, another forward.
John
They can
Crook,
move out.
Yarn Crook.
They are the 3+. The other name is mentioned about that. For me,
Yeah, yeah.
it's easy about Domi, Mr. Tap, is equal Kerfoot. That's the 2 prototype plus. I think Domi is more skilled at Kerfoot. The other 2 center use their speed, and it's been that way for me. So that's what the Max Domi is coming for the Toronto Maple Leaf. Kleinberg will relieve some kind of pressure for Morgan Riley for puck mover, and that will stabilize a bit the unit number 2, where they will try to have a defenseman like Riley about that. They used Gustafsson last year for this. That will stabilize that. It's an upgrade, in my opinion. If you took Justin Hall out and you put John Kleinberg, I think this is an update. Unfortunately, they're losing Luke Shine, and he was at the top forward there. This is maybe the piece of the puzzle they will have to figure out. I thought at some point they would get Kudos for the Panthers. Kudos got his contract $4 million for the Anaheim Ducks. And the thing was, I'm really impressed, really shocking the way they managed over there, but I'm going to talk about this a little bit later. And what about Lou Lamoriello? Again, Sweet Lou, I don't know, Mr. Tap. Like, I don't know. You should take
Lots of money. Money.
For me, it's like he gave 8 years at Sorokin, no problem. But he gave 7 years at Pierre Ekval and Mayfield. This is my biggest problem with the New York Islanders, Mr. Tap. This one, Pierre Ekval, 7 years. Hello, Lou. 2023, buddy. 2023,
Time
my
to
friend.
retire.
So, we'll see what happened, Mr. Natal. We're going to rock and roll everything. Another conversation. Vinny 007 in the house. Welcome back. About this, Sebastian talk about Mitch Cobb and Reinbacher. No problem, Mr. Sebastian. I don't know. Hello, coach. And I thought I forgot to salute both of you. No problem. Ghislain, welcome back in the house. Anyone
Welcome.
have thought of Vegas Gerson 6420 from the Devils, Mr. Natap?
Sorry, I missed that, Coach. What's the question?
Here we go.
Anyway, have thoughts on Vegas signing? I don't know much about him. I'll be honest with you. So, uh,
It's
do
again,
you?
it's another one where you never make it in the NHL. I don't know which which overall it was pick. His pick. I cannot remember his pick of Gerson. But again, the problem behind that one of them is on top is no spot. Yeah, no spot for the for the Devils for him for Mason. He's a 24 years old, 28 years old, I believe. If you talk about Mason against Skinson, is again a 6'4" left winger, 220 pounds. Draft Mr. Top 93 by the Colorado Avalanche, Mr. Top, playing American Hockey League in the
So
last
third
couple of
round.
years with the New Jersey Devils and the affiliation. Not much about this, more about the physicality, what he brings. So he's another player. Adam is going to be in American Hockey League about him. Thought on the ad fans who felt bad for Reinbacher and put together a booklet with all the nice tweets from fans, and nice to see that for the kid about this one there. The name and Mr. Natab, this was happening like, I make a video about this the day after,
Yeah.
where the people was really you
You were
can
animated.
be disagree with everything they do, right? And you can blame the organization, but when you attack personally the kid David Reinbacher, and that's not right. Like you ask
Absolutely.
me all the time why Montreal the player doesn't want to go there is because of that. That's the reason, right? The reason why Dwayne did not performing is one of them. The pressure they got every single day. You go, you imagine that, guys. You go only like Carey Price. How many times he said, "I don't want to go nowhere," because people asking me all the time and they feel pressure constantly. And that's the biggest problem is you can have that kind of passion about your team. But when you blame and you go directly attack the players, the kid is 18 years old, Mr. Tap. 18 years old. 18 years old. And he got
Yeah.
so bad stuff. And I don't want to get there. But this is the reason why I believe the fans should recognize. And the funny thing, Mr. Tap, those people complaining, they really don't know who is Reinbacher, and they don't really know. They think Miskab where he's going to be in NHL, and
Exactly.
they blame the organization without knowing what could happen in the next 4 or 5 years. If you really support the Montreal Canadiens, you're a hockey Montreal Canadian fans, just support the team, just support the decision. We'll see what's happening and go from there. And that's it. They don't have a
Like
very
we.
bad. It's not the fans select the players. As
No.
they hire people with the most experience and the most, not maybe not only experience, but knowledgeable about hockey, and they take a decision with about 20 people around the table, and they feel comfortable. The Reinbacher is going to be what they're looking for. So why not to support that decision? That's for me. I don't get it for obviously for the fans, but it is what it is.
Absolutely.
Great to see that we have a lot. Marco is right. I watched a lot of Twitter, Mr. Tap. I saw many tweets of the people apologize to the kids, and this is the only thing we're looking for. So hopefully those kind of stuff like that will be stopped, and then support the kids.
Look,
He's looking good, by the
you
way. The
know.
kid is looking good on the mic, behind the mic, by the way. So
Oh, absolutely. He handled himself with grace and professionalism from what I saw today when he was brought upon. But I mean, just look at it this way, Coach. You want a different perspective? It's very simple. Reinbacher, he was sought after by Montreal. There was an offer put out there by Nashville. that means that they had very high visions set on Reinbacher. If Montreal wasn't going to take Reinbacher, Arizona was going to take Reinbacher. That's three teams that were willing to move up and select this player on their team. How many teams overlooked Michkov before he landed in Philadelphia? 6 other teams ahead of him overlooked him. Okay, now I don't want to, I don't want to drop on Michkov because I think he's going to be an excellent player, no doubt about it. But these guys, as you said earlier, Coach, they're professionals. They've done their homework. All we see is, the few blurbs that we read about the player, what we hear from these professional journalists that are out there, but we don't know the whole story. So just that one action that I mentioned earlier, that 3 teams wanted Reinbacher right away, and 6 other teams did not want Michkov right away, I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, absolutely about that one. There, it's try to give you an example. But an example I can compare that one. But the best one I'm comparing, Mr.
And the
Natap,
other,
is this one. I
yeah,
would say you want to buy a car, Mr. Natap, and you go to the garage and you see the car, the red car, and you say, "Oh my God, this is the car we love to have." You like that. And the guy say, "Hey, this is the key. I go get the ride. Go get the car. Try it. You go there and you fly good. It's looking good because now you know what you feel inside the car and you know all the information you need to know about the car. Then after that, you go to another garage and the guy says, "Yeah, you look the red car over there." I say, "Yes, this costs you $20,000. You buy it or you not buy it." Same thing like that. When I'm talking about Mr. Natap, that they knew about everything about Reinbacher, and you don't know anything about Michkov. So you take a chance with Michkov. You don't know who he's going to be. You don't know his character. You don't know what kind of person he is because you have no information about Michkov. And that's the reason I believe the Montreal went with someone. They knew exactly what they got. Secondly, Mr. Natap, they do exactly. The template, the plan is already wrote by the team. They said 18 months ago, we need center, we need a right defenseman, we need a goalies, and they go there every single day. They nail it. They got Kirby Doc. They got Alex Newhook. Now they got Reinbacher. They fill up the spot where they really believe it takes to win a Stanley Cup or to make you the probability to win a Stanley Cup by the way to add those kind of players in the lineup. They got a size with Kirby Doc. They got the size with the Reinbacher. They got big players over there. They got the speed with Newhook. You need speed now in NHL transition, everything like that. And that's the reason the Montreal Canadiens take a lot of great things about this. And the situation you need it. They don't want to go move down because they knew that Arizona was going to take Reinbacher. And that's the key about that one over there. So it is on this one over there. We're going to continue, Mr. Natap. We are so much behind. Let's only go with a question about this. Adam, we answer to your question. Okay, let's ask you, Mr. Natap, what do you think about the Detroit Red Wings move? I don't know. I don't know, Mr. Natap. Steve Eisenman always impressed me about what he does for the plan and how he rebuild everything like that, but I don't know. Again, last year, Andrew Kopp, a lot of money. Ben Chariot, a lot of money. And then he continued to give a lot of money at GD Comfort, $5 million, play on the third line. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know. I understand you got Costin and everything. I don't. Explain it to me. I don't know.
No, I agree. I'm having a bit of a hard time understanding the logic behind how he's trying to build the team. I'm not sure he's made the team any better. I'll be honest with you. I mean, we'll wait and see because obviously he's gotten as far as he's gotten, not by being a stupid man, right? He knows what he's doing, but on the surface, it just doesn't sound like what Detroit really needed at this point. So I don't know. I don't particularly or personally like it, in my opinion, but there's got to be a reason he went that direction.
What you think about this, man? So that you put 400,000 more and you get Bertuzzi versus Comfort.
Well, that's the direction I thought they were going to go. I really thought that they were going to chase after Bertuzzi. Worst case scenario, they probably would have gone after DeBrincat in some kind of trade. Maybe that still might materialize. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
But I think some teams are a bit weary of dishing out, $8-9 million and term, like DeBrincat's looking for. So maybe that's the reason why that hasn't happened.
Yep, sorry about it. I'm going to do with you, Mr. Hunter, FYI with Rabbit AIM, where you have about 30 seconds, 1 minute for each player. So I'm going to go through this and I'm going to try to catch up everything, Mr. Hunter. So I agree or not disagree about Ren O'Reilly overpay.
A little bit, yes. Overpaid, yes.
$4 million.
I like him. I like him, and I think the Leafs offered the same amount, if I recall correctly, and the term was the same. So the fact that he didn't stay, leads me to believe there's something fishy happening here in Toronto, that he would want to leave his hometown for the same pay and the same term to go to another team. So I think maybe it's a little bit too much. You could say that given his age, but I mean, he brings so much to the game that I think that the Leafs need it, and they didn't go that direction. But it was a bit of an overpayment.
Yeah, I think for me it's more about the term, not about the money per season. I think the term of
maybe
the contract.
I should change that. Yeah, I should change that. It's more the term than the amount of money. You're right.
Exactly, because he brings some like the Nashville Mr. Top. They add right now characters. They want to change it. You can feel it. Barry Trotz. You can see the way Barry Trotz is GM right now. He have a style as a coach. He got players like they play for him before. There's a reason Shane gave up. He never. That's not the kind of player like Trotz would love to have on his team. And you can see he go get a lot of characters with the new signature they got over there. And I agree with you, but sometimes to get a player like $4 million O'Reilly, I think that's what you need. Give her an extra year of his contract. Obviously, it is what it is. That's all we tell them. What do you think about Corey Perry? Got a very good contract, 1 year, $4 million for the Chicago Blackhawks.
Well, here's a guy that signed initially with Montreal for $1 million, then went to Tampa Bay for $2 million over 2 years, and now he's getting older at the tooth, and he's making more money. That seems to be the opposite direction of what's happening. But you know what? They have the money, and I think they want to bring some experience to that team, and also guard Bedard a little bit in terms of giving him as much liberty to develop it properly. And so you got to bring in that experience. You got to bring that kind of muckiness to the team that will also help protect him and shield him. And so I think it's a good move for Chicago. A little bit too much money, I believe, but you know what? They have the money right now, so they went that direction.
Surround the kids, show him what it takes, and I think that's a great move from that part over there. And the connection, Luke Richardson, Corey Perry, bring Corey Perry around the team. You know what he can do for Bedard and the rest of the team is on top. All right, another one, Mr. Forgislin. One Montreal signed Alex Newhook.
When did they sign him?
When they are going to sign him?
Oh, it's in the works right now, from what Hughes just mentioned. So I would anticipate within the next couple of days or so.
What are your expectation about the contract and the money?
Oh, that's a good question.
All my questions on top are good. I don't know what you said.
I know. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
That's why you're the GOAT. We know that. I'm not sure. I would say somewhere probably. I think they're going to try probably to go with a 4 or 5 year deal, and somewhere in the neighborhood of 3.5, maybe.
Yeah, it could be that way. We know Newhook, it was same age like Caulfield and Kirby Duck, right? And
yeah.
And that's the reason he got that one over there. I tried to give you
like to sign him
completely entry-level contract, Mr. Top.
Exactly. So to sign him to too long of a contract is not wise, because you don't know if eventually he will come around and be the player that he was expected to be. So that's why I'm leaning towards some kind of small bridge gap contract of 3 to 5 years at the most, and around the 3.5, something like that.
Well, I think Montreal would love to give him at least a minimum 3 or 4 years contract, about 3 million max, maybe more, $2.5 million for that.
Yeah.
I think for him, I think for me, he's going to get a 2 years contract at $2.5 million, Mr. Top.
Yeah, it's got to be somewhere in that neighborhood, like 2.5 to 3.5, and we're talking 3 to 5 years in that particular situation, or in that gap range.
Mr. Top, Rick Bengals said that Drouin got what he is worth, $800,000. I go or disagree, and then I have a big question after that. I agree or disagree?
I disagree with that. I mean, if you look at statistically what he's done over the years, just from a statistical point of view, I'm not talking about anything else. I mean, he does bring it. He's the type of player that loves to set up other players, and what better situation to go into than to be with McKinnon again, and see if they can spark the old magic that they did in juniors together. But you're making that amount of money because obviously injury concerns have been a big issue over the years, especially here in Montreal. There's a lot of little flags as well, right? Sometimes when the quality or the challenge in the game is at a maximum, that's when he doesn't show up, and that's my biggest fear. It's always been with Drouin, is that when the going gets tough, he's nowhere to be found.
So my last question to you, Mr. Tap, 40 points, 50 points, 60 points with Colorado Avalanche.
I think he can hit 60 points if he's playing with McKinnon and he's given that opportunity. I think he can hit that.
So that's where you lose right now, Montreal Canadiens. A player like 60 points.
Well, that's not exactly fair because we don't have a McKinnon on our team right now. So it helps when you put somebody with a McDavid or a McKinnon or
yeah, when average, Mr. Tab, 0.54 point per game average.
Right, which relates to about 45 points. So the fact that he's with McKinnon, I think, could raise
50.55. Yeah.
Something like that. As long as he stays healthy, number one. And number two, as long as he's given those opportunities. Because let's face it, with Montreal, he was given every opportunity on the first line, the second line, on the power play, many different situations. He might not be afforded that same luxury. And if Landeskog is gone all year, I think he gets that opportunity. If Landeskog at some point comes back, he might be shifted down one line.
Well, Landeskog is out for the rest of the year. He's not coming back at all.
It is the whole year, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then he's going to get
coming back
chance.
only season 24-25 about that. For me, I would say differently. I would say he get a spot of Evan Rodriguez. He can become that player for the Colorado Avalanche. Last year, scored 16 goals with them, and I think that's what he does. Rodriguez was really, start very well, and then he become a unit number 2, and that's what Drouin can do on the unit number 2, and then plus Comfort is out. That open up another spot for him to be on the unit number 2 power play, Mr. Tap. So we'll see what happens, Mr. Tap. We can talk about Jonathan another day. Whatever, we like him a lot. Who are still in Montreal? Pitlick, Hoffman, Yellen, and DUARTE. How and who is still in Montreal?
Well, we spoke about Hoffman and DUARTE a little bit earlier. Pitlick, I think at some point is gone.
Laval,
Yolinen, I think. Laval, yeah, exactly.
Alanin is really interesting. The key behind that is going to be Eneman. I think the wild card behind Alanin is Eneman. Eneman can push out Allen at some point. He had to sign a contract with
Heinemann,
Montreal Canadiens, and it will be interesting follow up. I'm sure if he's on the waiver, Allen, some team will go to get him for sure. A team like Arizona or Anaheim could go on that direction about that one there. Hello, Mr. Jerry. Thanks for being Mr. on top. The list is we'll be here for a long night. Look like about this. Again, I'm going to get
We're
only
still on the
the
hellos.
question right now. If not, it's going to be interesting. Glenn said, you said management is not for the fans. Why? Pourquoi they not draft a forward? You're just not a true fan, sir. The reason why they not draft a forward, Glenn, is because they really believe they just get the best defenseman on the draft as the right defenseman. Now you can be disagree what they did, but at the end of the day, they think a long term. The Reinbacher set up a great structure of what they believe start from the back to the forward. It's easier, and you can see that this year, guys, at the UFA market to sign a Pertuzzi, example. It's easier to find a guy like Tarasenko, and if you want to add more goal in the net, it's easier to find those kind of players forward, whatever who they are. It's difficult to find a top pairing defenseman as a right defenseman in NHL. A specific guy, 6'2", 6'3", and then he can play at that kind of level. It's rare, it's hard. Most of the team keep those players inside their team. Like Pietrangelo, example. I understand he want to Vegas about that, but it's rare. You can get those kind of situations like that. And that's the reason they know exactly. The reason they did not get Michkov, it's simple, guys. Don't look about anything else. They don't have enough information about Michkov. That's it, that's all. They have not enough information. Exactly like the 5 other team did, right? Like the Anaheim, like Columbus Blue Jacket, like the San Jose Sharks. They don't have enough information. The Arizona Coyotes, the same thing, and the Montreal did it. Why? Because altogether they conclude it was better to take another players. They know exactly who they are. They know exactly what they're going to be with their team, and they assume they're going to be a solid player for them versus what they don't know what happening with Michkov. With so many red flags come with Michkov at the end of the day. That's the only reason why they go that direction. And why Reinbacher versus a forward? Because since day one, they believe this is the best player they need at long term. They really believe that kids. They follow him, guys, from since October. And for all the players, guys, and the NHL prospect, the one increasing his value get better, and better since October. And more the last 3 months is Reinbacher. Reinbacher increasing his value every single day by the way he become as a defenseman. It's still a lot of things. It would take at least 2 more years, but they get something. They're going to make that team, that bricks to build a really good team, everything like that. That's the reason they go that one over there. That's simple. And when he said Montreal cannot score, we have a scorer called Cole Caulfield can score 40 goals, 45 goals. So I don't know when he said to me, or he said the Montreal had no scorer. They have it. His name is Cole Caulfield. That's simple about that. And they're going to get another players in the future as a UFA when it will be the right time when they need it. So give a chance for the Montreal Canadiens because they don't select you players because you believe, and I don't know how many times you watch Michkov play hockey. If you tell me right now, you take at least 30 hours of Michkov and you can tell me exactly what kind of player he is and what kind of person he is, now I can understand your point of view. But nobody knows him, and then they just assume what you believe, what you heard. And it's not good enough information about Michkov compared to any other players. That's the reason they go with Reinbacher. I don't know if you want to add something, Mr. Nata.
Yeah, I'm just going to add that it's also extremely difficult to get a top-notch elite defenseman that is right-handed. Like teams struggle with that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Roger is in the house. Anyone think Lou is not doing a great job with the Islanders? I don't know what the owner think about Lou Lamoriello, but really interesting about this. Anyone else relieve Pierre-Luc and Montreal? Yes, we are. We don't talk about him anymore. That's the best way about this one. About this. Got the thing for your afraid the question should did they improve their team for that one or that. The Leafs did not lose in the playoff because of the bottom six. They did not real problem on the call for opinion. Yeah, then anything else? Try to get Luciano. Carey Price got a new job, Mr. On top.
Special missions for the Habs.
Special advisor.
Well, it better not be public speaking because the way he butchered David Reinbacher's name, it's not going to look good.
Yeah, I'm sorry about this one there. Yeah, Marco said, why Sebastian you're so negative about the Montreal Canadiens? So I don't know. Mr. Leo Renault is in the house, Mr. On top. Mr. Renault is in the house. Welcome back. You get that. Randy Walkman is in the house, Mr. On top.
Hey, Randy.
Jones said MLS is doing a great job. If there was not there, what existing coach in the league can you see being a good fit with the Montreal Canadiens?
Oh, I mean, I like the coach that Arizona has as well, Turney. I think he's very good with the younger players. Has done a lot for that team. It's unfortunate the situation that they find themselves in, but he would have been a good fit as well. I thought Richardson was quite good as well. And he's kind of showing that in Chicago now. So there's a couple names.
Yeah, it'll be like forever, John. I would say to you, I think you have some. You can see when Washington with Mitch Love go over there. I think you can see. I think Benoit Gros is another one over there. I always have a lot of respect for the college coach for NCAA Providence, Browns, Dan Lastman. He is the head coach, Mr. On top for the last couple of years of the Team USC Junior, World Junior, and I squeeze his last name right now. This is the one I believe it could be a good one for them. Obviously, Andrew Brunette could be an assistant coach. He's got a job now, and they have so many. I can go, John, for that one for Montreal Canadiens. Marco talk about the Toronto. I gave the Avalanche a solid A for the move in the past few days. I'm not pleased with the losing era, but 3-4 is a bit step about this one. Colorado Avalanche. Yeah. Do anyone make the team from the prospect as a forward? Do you see anyone making the team for a prospect forward from Jerry about this one there?
Possibly. I mean, Heineman, if the opportunity is given, maybe back on defense. I don't think anything's going to change from what we have right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry about this. WSC said that when Montreal should sign Wayne Simon, Mr. On top. What do you think about that?
No. Stay away.
Exactly. I agree with you about this one.
What is he, 45 now?
I don't know, but he didn't make it right there. A real deal talk about Kevin Adams and maybe just be the most underrated GM in the NHL. That's a smart man right there. Not sure about this one. He does a better job compared like he did before that. He gave away Jack Eichel. Looked like Vegas won the Stanley Cup with Jack Eichel. I would set that to you. But I can understand your point of view. But he gave away Sam Reinhart and Brandon Montour. He did not get too much in return when you think about the Florida Panthers, what they are an accomplished. But I'll be honest with you, Mr. Natap and Real. He's getting better for the last 2 seasons. Since that, he make less mistake, in my opinion. Like I thought he could get more in return about some trade he make. But he built a solid, good players around, and he really believe on the young core prospect. I can understand that, but it's not my top 5 best GM in NHL. That's my point of view about that. I don't know how you feel about this.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's done some solid things to bring Buffalo forward, but I think that goes hand in hand with the ownership as well, and the fact that they're well coached. They've gotten some talent over the last few years that's developed nicely. So it's all part of a package. It has to come together, and I think that's where Buffalo is right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. This is the second time we talk. The 3 fans want to know that. How do you feel about another fighter to take pressure off the Jackai? Yes or no?
Well, I don't want what I don't want is it seems like now the East is starting to build up with Lucic going back to Boston and now Reeves going to Toronto and other players around the league. We were starting to see it last year, especially before Jack I got injured, coach, and they were all trying to entice him to get into some kind of fight. Um, I think he's well served, obviously, to police the team, yes, but that's not the only reason he's there. He's there to develop. He's shown some great strides in his development this year as a defenseman. So we can ill afford to have him involved every second night in a fight and staying in the penalty box. That does zero to develop him. Having said that, do they need somebody to come in? I mean, there's the old adage, team tough, but that's not gonna do much. If they could get somebody on the cheap, but like I would love to try to package a prospect and Hoffman at 50%, send them to Philadelphia and try to get DeLaurier.
Why?
Well, just to have him there, same reason the Leafs picked up Reeves. They didn't pick him up so he can score. They picked him
So
up so
you
he can
guys, you want
police the
Delorier,
team.
but you're going to sit a young player like Joshua Roy sit in the stand because
No,
you
I don't.
thinking you like guy. I don't think so. I will disagree with you and
No,
everybody, guys. The hockey is changing,
I don't
guy.
want to. Yes, I
The four
agree.
line for the Devils guy, it was Bastion, Wood, and McLeod, right? The four line, it's not this anymore. Ren Reese, how many fight he has last year, guys? How many fight Melin Lucic has? Who has the most fight in NHL last year? That's not there anymore. So why you want to remove a guy with a speed, a guy with talented, with skill, and to add a player like Delorier, Ray, in case of what?
It's just the way that they've reacted to the situation. That's all I'm saying.
No, no, I not say you.
Obviously,
I not said
you
you.
can't
Go ahead.
like if somebody starts to take runs at a Cole Caulfield or a
We
Suzuki.
have Jacky,
I mean, well, but you can't have them every night taking penalties and policing the team
but Mr. Nathan,
is what
who
I'm
run
saying.
after Cole Caulfield every night? Like it's not this anymore. It's like you have like do we really need two guys to fighting just in case someone run after Cole Caulfield?
No, I'm not saying that's what I want. I'm just saying sometimes you need some players, some coaches will or GMs will react to what has happened around them, right? Just like they do at trade deadline time. Somebody picks up a score, somebody
Oh
else
yeah,
goes out
yeah.
there and tries to, it's just a copycat league in many ways, and so there seems to be an imbalance now of where are these fighters that well they seem to have come to the east now all of a sudden. Is Montreal going to benefit from having somebody like Delorier? Not from a developmental perspective, not at all. As you said, I would rather see some young developing prospect in that position.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I by the same token, I don't want to see Jack Eye be the only person that's out there fighting because then that does zero for his own development,
Yeah,
and
well,
the team
Josh
should
Anderson can do
recognize
that.
that. Well, Josh, don't get me started with Josh
Yeah,
because
you know what I mean? If
until
you
I
need
see
something,
it,
I just feel for me, you don't need this anymore. Like the question was, can Jaga would need help? I don't think so. I don't think so. You can go that direction over there. You maybe add Logan Mayu the next 2 years with the Montreal Canadiens if you want to have some guy tough like this. And it's not
yeah.
this anymore. Like you have no fight in the hockey anymore. You have more fight, Mr. Top, with the second light, the weight light, like you never had before compared like the big gun. They don't fight.
I
Ren Reason, how many fight he will do in the NHL? I will give you a number. He's not going to fight more at 5 to 7 times this year in NHL. Ren Reese.
Coach, I would have 100% agree with you if it was the playoffs. I agree 100% that in the playoffs, fighting has gone the way of the doo-doo bird. But in the regular season, right, there are still teams that will act on intimidation. And sometimes I'm just saying You have to have a balance with that. You cannot allow another team to come into your own home and push around your team or your stars. Something has to happen. I just don't want to see Jack Eye. That's my main point out of this. I don't want to see he can handle himself. That's not the problem, but I don't want to see him sitting on the bench or in the penalty box or getting hurt again. How did he get injured this year? Through a fight, right? And why did he have to get involved? Because he was the only one that him and Petzetta, but I mean, Petzetta will get involved with anybody. He doesn't care less if he wins, loses, or comes out healthy at the other end, because it's the kind of guy he is. But how many nights is Petzetta going to be playing?
Yeah, Joseph is agree with you. He wanted Delorier and the chat, but for me, I disagree with everyone. You don't need those kind of play anymore in NHL. You better to develop a Joshua Roy. You develop to develop an Heineman. I want speed. I want talent. I want skill. From my top line to the 4 line, they can score goal in NHL. Sorry, but you don't have those kind of play anymore. And again, it's not happening anymore. So. You have one, that's enough. You don't need more in my lineup. Mario, as they get okay with the Batman. First, Luc Laforcine. Yeah, it's just a kind of question, principle about this one. Look about Mishka, don't share it, love the Honnête. Leave upgrade by all living and upgrade with Jeff Timber. We don't want to talk. We did not talk about Justin Wall with the Detroit Red Wings on top. A little bit earlier about this one there. What do you feel about the Buffalo Sabres get Clifton and Eric Johnson as a defenseman?
I don't see how that helps. I really don't. We saw Clifton last year make some pretty big mistakes in the playoffs, and he was a liability every time he was on the ice. I don't think Buffalo needs that. They needed somebody with a little bit more grit, yes, but also defensive abilities. And I'm not so sure you're going to get that with Clifton.
Yeah, absolutely about this one there. By the way, Lane Alcid is 5'9" and not 5'10" for what we heard. And the last yesterday about the chemist on top. You're right about this.
Okay.
Try to pick up other people in the chat. A question, Mr. Top, for you. Well, Captain Danny, sorry about this. About this one there. I thought it was a question about this one. I tried to pick it up. Question. And Randy said,
by the way, Coach, I think it's been confirmed. Domi 1 year, $3 million. Not
for which one?
For Toronto. Domi 1 year, $3 million.
You talk about Domi? Max Domi?
Max Domi. Yeah.
Confirmed for $3 million about this. Do the Habs will still make a play for Ascara, Mr. Tap?
Who, the Habs?
Yeah.
I don't see how, unless it's through some kind of trade. I mean, the opportunity was kind of there at the draft, but didn't materialize. Who knows down the road? I mean, Nashville will be fine.
How many teams has Max played for already? We have to check a little bit more longer about this one. They want to go to finish
5, I believe.
All the contract, everything like that. We will talk about Domi in the chat, Mr. Tap. About this one there. We have 16 players on the leave as a team. William McClary said, Luciano should probably thank the league for increasing his value.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he had some decent stock coming into Toronto, and yep. I do believe he did a relatively good job with Toronto, especially in the playoffs and down to the end of the season as well. So, yeah, they're gonna miss him. I don't think bringing in Klingberg. I mean, that helps Riley because it gives them another player to sort of, bring the puck up and also to play on the power play. It helps that way. but I believe he's a huge liability defensively, Klingberg. So
Yes.
we'll see.
Joel Glegg, I have a question for you. What do you be the value of Gallagher? Should we trade him, or is too good for the rookie and the culture?
Well, he's
That's a
definitely
good question, by the
an
way.
asset for the rookies and the developmental aspect of that. He's also, he's very well liked by everybody in the change room. So that part is fantastic. He's a leader. I don't think you're ever going to trade him. I think he finishes his career as a Montreal Canadian simply because the term on his contract and the amount is just too much for anybody to pick up. And he's a fan favorite as well. I just don't see him being dealt away.
Well, you're absolutely right about this. Earlier, we talked about the term versus the money. This time, we talk more about the money versus the term. I think the term is not a problem for Gallagher. It's just he's paying maybe 1.5 to 2 million more money per year, more what he was expect. Now, he got a lot of money, maybe Mr. Nata, because the 3-4 season he got with 30 goals, he was very low salary cap. And he got a really high number where he should be about $5 million, 4.5 to $5 million for the contract. I think it would be more profitable for the what the Montreal get from him. Unfortunately, the last 2 years, the injuries put him. He never recovered from me, in my opinion, is a series playoff with the Montreal Canadiens. It took him over 2 years to recover, and then continues with some kind of injury with a wrist problem in the knee this year. With I think it was the foot, right? I think you have some kind of
Yeah,
fracture,
yeah,
everything like that. So the value, unfortunately for him, and it shot is decreasing about in NHL. You're not going to get a lot in return. First, because the salary cap problem they're going to get with him, his salary AAV per year is too high, and then the kind of player like this at the third line, fourth line, but you don't pay anyone over like $4 million. That's where the template or NHL. So value wise, is not going to be good in return for that. Now, yeah, you nail it, Mr. Tap. His locker room, his behavior, what he bring on the table, the leadership, and it's excellent for the Montreal Canadiens. So maybe it would be 1 or 2 years before something could happen to Gallagher with the Montreal Canadiens. We'll see
yeah.
about
Agreed.
that one over there. We have a couple of people talk between each other about the Toronto Maple Leafs. Mr. Doc is in the house, Mr. Tap. Welcome, Doc. Where do you rank Canucks,
Welcome.
Mr. Tap?
Well, I don't see them having made really any significant moves. Uh, uh, I think even I know they wanted to get rid of OEL, Oliver Ekman Larson, but that was a huge buyout, coach. That's going to hurt him down the road. I was just wondering, maybe they could have just played that out a little bit and handled it a different way. And now I believe somebody just took a chance with him and signed him for league minimum or
Yeah,
a
the
million
Fleur
dollars
Panthers.
at the most. The Florida, right? Again, I don't understand that move. I know it's not much money in terms of today's going rate, but I don't see how that helps Florida, especially when you've lost somebody like Gudis.
You nail
So
it, Mr. Tab, on that one for sure. You cannot take OEL on that one for you nailed it. And plus, Mr. Tab, if you want to play like OEL, you have already Montreux and Ekblad. So
right,
you absolutely about this. The Canucks added some kind of right defenseman right there, but it's the team, Mr. Tab. Try to. It remind me right now of the Pittsburgh Penguins. They try to figure out what they the best to get out of what they are. And unfortunately for the Vancouver Canucks, they are in a difficult Division 2. I know all divisions have their own team, but again, you have Vegas over there,
yeah,
they have Edmonton, they have Calgary, not Calgary, but the Seattle Kraken have a good year, and you have the Kings. So the Canucks is not like, and I think the best players prospect, they not reach the full, other fact, Quinn Hughes, Mr. Tap, they don't play the level they was expected when they draft them at the first round. I'm talking about Bot Zinger, I believe it is, or Glenn. That's some players.
yeah.
I think they never reach the full potential. Now, the biggest problem with that will be how they're going to do with Elias Peterson contract. This is what they're looking for that. And then, hopefully, Rick Dockett can turn around that team. But they are not, for me, in my opinion, I don't see them in the playoff for upcoming season.
No, I agree. I just don't see it happening. For me, right now, Vancouver's like a ship without a rudder. I don't know what direction they're going in, but it doesn't look too good.
Carolina has back, you know what? Talk about team or structure, team or organized, team from the top to the bottom. And this is a copycat template you follow. Is the Carolina became on top. Let's go. You want to go, you can go the team. Partially leave the building, another player want to leave the building. They keep what they believe the value of each player, have the money on each head of the player. They bring back just for fast, lower at $1 million. They got they're both goaltenders signed a low contract with them, and they continue to navigate with what they have and what they do as a career hurricane. They prove it again, Mr. Natap, with those signatures and to add better players. And I think this is another way where the Canada are so good year after year with the management and the head coach and the player want to play over there. What do you think about the Canada Hurricane, UFA, and the trade?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the haul for Orlov was great. It suits them. I just, I mean, I look at Carolina, coach, and one area that I thought they needed to address was the goal scoring. I'm not sure that they've addressed that. Like, you're right, and furthermore, I'm hearing that they're one of the two or three teams that are in the conversations for Eric Carlson as well. I would see that as a big mistake for Carolina if they go after Eric Carlson. I'll tell you why. Number one, you're bringing him back. You're reuniting him with Brent Burns, and it's been noted that there was too much ego going around there in San Jose. Neither one was producing to the expectations that they were supposed to be producing at, and you bring him back in Carolina, that would create a difficult situation. But they went after one of the best defensemen that was available. I give them credit for that. They're a team that knows how to play the system well. They're very well united. I just would like to see them get that additional goal scorer. Maybe a Tarasenko is still a possibility, and if they were to nab him, I think that would make a world of difference and would become a favorite for sure.
Yeah, absolutely about this one over there. What is the great thing about Andre said that, Mr. Natap? There is passion in your ranks, so the player gets chosen. They are not responsible for that. So the answer them is been in your hand about that. That's pretty much resume exactly what you're right about this one over there. I agree, coach. The other experience. This is the why the Leaf cannot win the Stanley Cup. Roger Delaney is on the house, Mr. Natap. Welcome back.
Hey, Roger, the master.
Thanks to be with us, Mr. Natap. Maurice Cormier, I'm well in the politique and to get the same type idiot about this one over there. Here we go, Maurice. Well said about this one over there. I have a question. Do you think Mailloux is ready to play in NHL, or he still need one more year and the minor league change some man? Great question about this, by the way. And by the way, a lot of people are involved with about Reinbacher. We're not going to be involved with that part. I will let you chatting between each of it. But Mr. Atta, what do you think about Mailloux? Where you have a really excellent day number one at the camp today, where they are, and right now going to be happening tomorrow. And they have a scrimmage July 4th, by the way. But what your expectation about looking Mailloux for the upcoming season, or what do you feel about him?
I think he's been developing very well. I know that they still haven't had the league meeting with him, but I think that hopefully should just be a formality. As a matter of fact, that's why he wasn't available, if anybody's wondering, for meeting the press today after developmental, because he's not allowed to until he's had that meeting with the NHL and has been cleared. I personally believe that Montreal is very much dedicated right now to developing properly. And having said that, I think he's probably got one more year that he'll play Laval at that level. If Montreal by the end of the year, is obviously they'll probably be towards the bottom of the league, but at that point you might see him come up for a few games, just as like we saw this year with a few players. But I'd say he's at least 1 year away.
Well said, Mr. Tap. I think that there are two reasons happening, about a couple of reasons last year, now today. Last year, we started the season without Edmondson, Madison. Both of them open spot for rookies to join the team, and that's happening. And then they add Kovacevic. Now, already this year, Mr. Tap, we have 8 player defensemen already set up for the upcoming season. So, yeah, no spot, first of all. Secondly, that would be better for him to learn, like you just said, to be 1 more year about Rocket and call up maybe at the end of the year, or maybe at some point have many injuries to taste what it looked like the NHL. But I don't see MEILLEUR at the beginning of the season with the roster from Montreal. At least we have some injuries and some departure we don't expect. So that was said about this. A great question, Mr. Natap, from Jessa Simon. DH is in the house. Thank you so much to be with the Hockey Nation Live Show. Mr. DH, thanks for all the likes, guys. If you don't mind, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. You can helping us about Joe Monella. I'm not just pissed because Leaf got Reaves. I should have signed Reaves. Joe Monella won Reaves with the Montreal Canadiens. Again, je ne me suis pas pour le repêchage de repêchage Edmondson et toi. Honnêtement, je mets un 5 pour le repêchage, un 2 pour l'échange Edmondson et toi. I don't know if Nicolas, you parle à someone or us. A bid for the goalie and defense. Our defensemen take longer to develop, so we get first, then we'll add forward next year. Born. That's the way we're thinking right now for the upcoming next 2-3 years. Again, you can get it within that Cold Flame tried to move up to get Reinbacher. I think it's not only team. I think 2-3 teams want to get Reinbacher. I think you're absolutely right, Randy, about this one. More wise, everything like that. Again, I'm not going to involve with the chat. Mr. Tat, try to pick it up. Everything about the chat, about the fans. I'm not going to go there, guys. Let you talking each other. It's not a big deal. For that, Luciano, Danny, tax odds friends about this one over there. Right, he's going to Nashville. The luck. I try to get question, Mr. Tap. So try to get go through the feed about this for sure. Then go problem in Toronto. They talk now between Toronto and Montreal. That one.
By the way, right now, the Leafs, I believe, with the signing of Domi, are just over $8 million over the cap. So they're going to have to address that. And they haven't signed Samsonov yet. So that they're going to have to make something happen here. I got to believe it's going to probably be Nylander involved some way, somehow.
You think they're going to trade Nylander?
Yeah, I think they might be looking to try to stack up some draft picks, some big draft picks, and that would help immensely in rectifying their salary cap issues right now. I know they'll still get rid of maybe as we said earlier, Brody and Murray, but that's not going to be enough on its own to clear them.
Yeah.
So we'll
I can
see.
see
We'll
that.
see. I'm not
Question
sure.
for Jerry, Mr. Tap. Any prospect making the Montreal Canadiens this year?
I think we answered that one earlier. I think there's the possibility that somebody like Heineman, if he has a good camp, could possibly Beck as well. I mean, there's been a huge growth in his game as well. I don't see anybody defensively. I think we're pretty much set with the core group there, plus even the seventh defenseman. So, yeah, there isn't a lot of leeway there right now.
Yeah.
I mean, unless of course we get somebody like Dvorsky's going to be out for an extended period. Dvorak's going to be out for an extended period of time, or somebody like Hoffman and Armia are traded. I mean, if that happens, obviously it opens up the door.
Another comment, Mr. Natap, I don't remember. At some point we talk about Alex Newhook contract, Mr. Natap, and now I'm where I am right now. So people talk about 3 years, 4 years. Most of them are all at $3.5 million, Mr. Natap.
Yeah, bridge. I think it'll be a bridge.
Yeah. Nicolas dit, what do you think about the trade for Edmondson? He feel like he's not agree with the trade for Edmondson. Are you agree for this is a good trade or the bad trade for Edmondson?
Well, I hate to see his leadership go. I'll be honest with you, but I mean, to get a third and a seventh, I mean, it's not so much for those draft picks as much as it is to rid yourself of a contract, to rid yourself of somebody that's very injury prone at this stage, and like I said, is taking up valuable space for an area that we're slowly getting extremely strong in, and you don't want use up somebody else's progression or development time by being there. And he also doesn't fit in our long range plans. So you weren't going to get much more than what you got, unfortunately. But incidentally, when we went to the Stanley Cup final, Coach, 2 or 3 years ago, whatever it was now, the entire core of 4 defensemen are all gone now. Weber, Petrie, Edmondson, Sherratt, and that's what got us there initially. Part of the big ingredients.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I just want to mention because people ask, okay, so how my number are coming from, guys? Kirby Duck got a contract 4 year at $3.3 million. Kirby Duck is a third overall pick in NHL. That's the reason he got a 3.4. Now, Newhook, he has 30 point, 33 point in the last 2 seasons in NHL. This is his first contract open up after ELC. So you have 2 ways to see that. He's not going to get more money at Kubidak. First of all, he's at 3.3. Secondly, it's all depends Mr. Natap, his term. More term he get, lower money he get in return. Lower term you got, more higher money you get. That's the reason I would say to you, if you go at $2.5 million, that would be a contract at long term, like a 4 years. If you go at 2 years contract, that's the reason I put him around $3 million. But I'll be shocked he get more money at Kirby Duck at $3.3 million. That's what about this one over there. New York is going to be a good outkeep at some point for sure. To score a goal. Took him 5 years to score a goal. Joe Manella. I don't know which one you're talking about. About this one. Could you see Joshua what make the team, or did you see him start in Laval 83?
I mean, the possibility's there that he could make the team. I just think right now it's a numbers game, and I would venture to say he'll start in Laval.
Yep, sorry about this. The reason I said that because we agree with you because you have no spot right now with the Montreal Canadiens. They're extra skater at this moment. A lot of people, Mr. Natap, at some point we talk about Jonathan Drouin, Mr. Natap, about the number of the point. Some of the point people said 40 to 50. Danny got 60 points. About this, Coach Kenny got 80 points with Colorado. Coach Kenny, he got 80 points with Colorado. I'm not sure about this. His time will be interesting about this. For that, they're going to get some point with McKinnon for Randy about this. Do you think the new hire on the musical staff will help the Montreal Canadiens with fewer injuries?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, it's the players that got hurt. The majority of them, it wasn't because of the trainers, right? It was, they're freak accidents, they're hockey plays that happen, and you get hurt. I think the one area that they got into trouble, Coach, was, sometimes allowing a player and his opinion to come into the equation and not using their professional judgment to say, I know you want to play and get involved, but at this stage, it's better for your health not to get out there too early, right? Let this ankle or this wrist or whatever the case might be heal properly, and then you'll do much more great for the good of the team.
Yeah, it is to ask this question. What do you think about Primo?
I mean, it's tough because now he can't come back and forth between Laval and Montreal without going through the waivers first. So there is a strong possibility that if he does come up for whatever reason, injuries or whatever the case might be, and then they have to send him back, he has to go through the waivers. He might be picked up by somebody else. But at this stage, it's I don't know. I'd say it's probably not looking great for him to land in Montreal.
Yeah, his days are almost off for what we heard the last 24 hours from Ken Hughes. So I don't think they have a lot of expectation for Caden Primo. I think he's going to go there. I think he will be out at some point for that. Um, um, Thanks so much for all the likes we got tonight. Thanks so much, Ryan. Appreciate that. KLS, ask you, Mr. Tap, if you have to deal, what do you put Tarasenko?
Yeah, Detroit wouldn't be a bad possibility, but I still think he would complement Arizona, not Arizona, Carolina. I think Carolina is in dire need of a type of sniper like Tarasenko. Um, I think that would help. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think of some other team that could
I will go with a
benefit.
long shot, Mr. Tap.
Who?
Seattle Kraken.
Pittsburgh. Oh, Seattle. Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it. But look at how many players they had though, coach, this year that were 20 goals and over.
The
They
problem
have a
with
very
Pittsburgh, Mr. Tap,
balanced
they're
attack.
overcapped.
Yeah, I know they're like the Leafs. No surprise there with their new
Mr. Tap,
GM.
Seattle Kraken have only 10 forward.
That's it. How
Yeah.
many are unsigned? How many are
All
unsigned?
all the 10, all the flow they have signed right now, Seattle Kraken are 10 only.
And how much under the salary cap are they?
40 million.
Oh, yeah. So maybe that is a good fit. Yeah,
Well, that's the
that
reason I
could
said
work.
Seattle, Mr. Tap.
Next.
That's what reason we are together, Mr. Tap, because we complete each
That's it.
other. That's the reason. 83 talk about Matthews. The Sharks consider Michael Burdin. I agree with that one. I'm a little difficult. I think he got a lot of money and returned Michael Bunding.
He did. In my opinion, I think he did. He's going to have to change his style a little bit in Carolina. He's going to have to be much, much more disciplined because Brendan Moore runs a very tight ship there, and the team cannot afford to be a team that plays from behind or on the penalty kill on a constant basis. But he does. He had a great rookie year with so. If he can sort of capture some of that and harness it properly, so that it fits Brendan Moore's system, he could be good. But I just think it was a little bit too much money.
Yeah, I'm sorry about this one over there. I read a comment for Daryl. Daryl, welcome to the house, guys. Welcome, Daryl. And don't forget, guys, click on the likes. He said that they're spending much money. You think that Lander Matthews is going to be gone for the leave. I'm thinking about this one, Mr. Antab, about like, if you think about the new GM, Brad, he's thinking, wait a minute, I moved from Calgary to Toronto. We have a lot of money here in Toronto because for the last 10 years, he had no money in Calgary. He said, no, I have a lot of credit card now. I can get money here.
Going on spending free.
We can spend money now. Yeah, maybe he's feel like a Santa Claus right now. I don't know. We have a question for you, Mr. Tap, if you don't mind, to answer. If you could pick the top 4 team right now, they are cup bound in June 2024.
Oh, goodness. I like Colorado. I like Edmonton. In the East, I like, if they can get a score, I really like Carolina. I think that they're a complete package there. New Jersey, the kind of team that they're putting together there, if somehow they can address just the goaltending situation, New Jersey can do a lot of damage. So I'd probably put those four teams right now at the very top, but
You don't think Vegas
there's
is
a
come
few
back?
others. I I think a lot of things went. I've always liked Vegas, Coach. Don't get me wrong, and I think that they obviously earned, the Stanley Cup this year because they went out there and did what they had to do, right? But they along the way they also had some fortuitous things go their way, from getting the hot goaltending at the right time, to having everybody healthy, whereas like in Florida's case, and some other teams' case, they weren't as healthy. Just like the previous year, everything went wrong for them. They had so many man injury games. They had internal conflict. What could go wrong did go wrong for them, and then some. And this past year, I think everything just fell in place very nicely for them. And I expect that they'll still have a very strong team, no doubt about it. I just think that we're going to see a little bit of regression. I mean, right now they're at the number one spot, so how you can't go any higher than that. So I think they'll regress a little bit.
I will add one more question with that one. One team you as a wild card, what it will be? Like a team, like like a wild card. Like the Vegas, honestly, was a wild card in my opinion. I think Vegas was great, but I did not thought they're going to go through Colorado. Injury can
Yes.
play a big role, major role at those. But it's just a wild card, like maybe on both conference if you want to.
Are you going to hit me if I say Winnipeg? No, just joking, joking.
Well, I was expecting you Islanders, but that's okay.
um, a wild card. Wow.
I will give
If
you.
I'm going to
I will
really
give you.
reach,
Sometimes it's hard to answer this quickly, but do you think the Dallas Star or the Kings could be what the two team I'm talking about?
yeah, I was thinking Dallas in the West, and I was thinking. Now, are we saying to get to the final of Stanley Cup Finals, or
Yeah,
just
they
to
try to win the
really?
Stanley Cup. Yeah,
Because I mean, I don't know. Do you consider New Jersey a
yeah. I
wild card
consider
here?
top five team in the nation now. New Jersey, one of the top team, but just a wild
Okay.
card, like a card, like a team, like maybe not at the top eight, and then like the Florida Panther came 16 and at the end.
Yeah.
So a team like they're going to make the playoff, but like it could be Seattle Kraken example. I
I
don't say they will, but it's a team like that I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about. The
yeah.
second level.
I mean, yeah, Dallas, and I don't know. I think we're going to see a difference in Ottawa this year. I think we're going to see a vast improvement there. Uh, they had some injuries last year. Their defense is getting stronger every year, and it seems like they went after a goalie as well. So that could be a definite wild card in my eyes.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely about this for sure. Like people talk about different thing in the chat, so going to give you guys here. Look, I have a great conversation on this one. He talk a rant talk about Babcock. We did not talk about him. But what do you think about Mike Babcock, new head coach for Columbus Jacket, Mr. Tap?
I don't quite get it. I'll be honest with you. Not that he's back because I think he's a very very good coach. I just don't get Columbus. I would have thought somewhere else, a team that's a little bit more established and ready to just take the next step, because I think that's where his forte is. It isn't so much in trying to develop young players. That's not his strength. But having said that, the Columbus has definitely acquired some pieces to go along with what they had. So uh, it might not be too bad after all. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, we want to welcome Mark, Mr. Mark K in the house. Thanks so much. Don't forget to click on the like and subscribe to the show that we get. Andre, I have a question for you. Why are the defensemen difficult to find? Are they not linesmen, center, winger, forward? Are the one for elite? One look back at the time we have three of those. Talk about Lapointe, Robinson, and Savard, Mission Tap. I think I have two reasons about that. It's not easy to find defensemen.
The number
Secondly,
of
it's not
teams.
easy to keep them and how to develop them. That's the reason why it takes time to develop them. It's a long project for each person. When you get them and you are good, you keep them usually. And that's the reason. If you have the possibility to have a player draft and NHL, you go a little bit more the defenseman versus a forward. I don't know if you want to add something, Mr. Antap.
I was just going to say also the increase of number of teams in the league to 32 now. It kind of waters down the depth that you can have on defense. So you don't usually get 3 or 4 excellent defensemen on one particular team on a consistent basis like you did back in the Montreal 70s and those days.
Yep, sorry about this one. Then we welcome, we welcome. I just forgot that. But first of all, Joseph Laham is in the house. Gary Willett is in the house. Mr. Antap, both of them knocked the door. So thanks so much, Joseph, to be with us tonight. Pesada is Wi-Fi enough. Doc does not play small, and neither does Anderson for A2. Talk about the time long time ago about the coach. They will look for him. We need backup, help Arbor about this one over there. Send Primo and Hoffman to Philippe for Delaurier, Joe Manella for that one over there. Catching Caulfield is Isaac Son, A2. He talk about the draft Wi-Fi brother 2, by the way. So that'd be something interesting to see him, what he look like. This is this is to protect Arbor. We don't want him to fight every game against Boston. About this one there. Again, guys. Have a good day. How many fights we have in NHL? About this one. Coach, I agree with Renata. Delorier or Wilson would be good for the fourth line. We don't talk about Wilson at the same. I would not consider Tom Wilson at the same line with Delorier and Simon or Reeves. We talk about Tom Wilson can play easily in the top 6.
I don't know about that, Coach. He's a pretty fierce player. He can throw the fists around if he has to. As a matter of fact, there's still a lot of conversation going around that he could land himself.
No, I'm talking about the talent players. I'm talking about. Tom Wilson is a top 6. I'm talking versus other defense player. We're talking about our bottom 6. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, definitely.
That's the reason I said that. No, I'm not talking compared to the fight or whatever it is. No, it was not about the players fight, the players talented about the bat. That's the reason I don't want to put Tom Wilson the same level like them about what they do on the ice, on the like what he produce about that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we have 2 mascots now in Montreal Canadiens. So something happened. We have Medal and we have UP now, Mr. Tap. So, if it's something they need, they can maybe use both of them. If in case you can get there. I agree with Coach Jakai is enough, my opinion. Again, for me, it's about development right now. I think the team is not there at this moment. One will be in 2-3 years. We're going to see what we need. But I don't feel we need that at this moment. That's the reason I mentioned this, Mr. Natap, earlier about this. A lot of people talk about between the evidence and we're getting them. Mr. We drop slowly, properly, the right things. We'll try to get the first fight. But at the same time, Mr. I will say to you, the catcher, Lane Hudson, cheating, John Garage, he talked about the 5'10" to 5'9", about this one over there. A2, I agree. Domi, Pertuzzi, Reeves, Kleinberg, Leaf, Hudson, some good piece. Are you agree with that?
I just don't think that they addressed where they had the need, and that was on defense. That's my only thing.
They don't feel the hole they're looking
Bertuzzi. For. Yeah, I like Bertuzzi, and he brings some scoring. He brings some grit. I like Domi. does the similar kind of thing. I think Klingberg will help Riley on the power play. Like I said, another puck moving defenseman. He's going to hurt him defensively, especially with Shen out of the picture now. You if anything, I think right now, and I know still things can unfold, but they've weakened their defense a little bit.
Yeah, they don't fix what they have a problem before that. That would be better if they would sign. I would take the money of Domi to give to Shine.
It's like they have a leak in the piping, and they went and
exactly. You
fixed
just
the air
fix
conditioner
the
or
other
something.
place. Or that. Yeah, you patch one wall, one hole, and you have to the other wall.
Yeah.
Sébastien asks how much money Mr. Tap Reinbacher is going to get his first year in NHL.
Well, he's going to have his entry levels. Like he's going to be at around 8. I think it's 9.25.
So exactly.
if they're
So the
first round.
maximum, Sébastien, for everybody of your entry level contract is 3 years, and the maximum you can get is 9.25. You can have some kind of bonus come with, but usually not many of them usually does the bonus. But that's the only reason you get an entry level contract, and the entry level contract kick out when they play 10 game in NHL. So until then, you get a value of the 925,000 per year. Or if you play 5 games, 6 games, you split that, and then he can get a money if he play with American Hockey League. He can get a salary contract. Like usually they get 80,000. Most of the rookies when they play in American Hockey League, Mr. Tap, that's the 90% of the contract they do for the young men like them, Mr. Tap. Try to pick it up, Mr. Tap. We're getting there. We're not going to have French quiz, Mr. Tap. It's too late. A lot of people talk to each other about this. Don't forget, guys, to click on the like if you don't mind. That'd be awesome. Tap. Don't forget, you're born and they're like that person. Someone talk about Burnt was a good year rep for all year long. G is in the house. Welcome back, G. Burnt was good this year. He ran paper play all year. Talk about the Caribbean Hurricane, Mr. Tap.
Yes, he was, and that's why I was commenting that bringing, if they still have intentions on bringing Carlson on board. First of all, I don't know how they do it with the cap space.
Super chat.
Mr. Tap, we have a super chat for RJ Calabro, Mr. Tap. Are you kidding me, Mr. Tap? This is the first time. Whoa, RJ Calabro did it. RJ Calabro, $9.99.
Reverse.
Super chat, Mr. Tap. Our friend RJ Calabro does a great job in the chat with all the insight he has about everything. Mr. Tap, some hype for RJ. And we have to give him some love at the same time. He does a great job with the moderator and the chat we have already. So thanks so much about this one. We can't remove this. I don't know this. Looking good better this way. Anyhow, 2 hours later, I should looking about something else. Thanks so much, Mr. RJ, about this. Check about this couple of conversation. 1-2 Laval, Reinbacher. Jake, I play the market about this. If I missed your question, guys, don't forget to click on the likes. Luke said that MEILLEUR, Beck, and Roy and Laval could be very good for Laval. You're absolutely right about this. The only thing I would say to you, look at Owen Beck cannot play in Laval. He have a 2 option, can return in the OHL, maybe get loaned to play in the SHL or the NL if they have to, but MEILLEUR Roy. And look, they have a lot of other players, Mr. Tap. You talk about Strabo now first year. You talk about Riley Kidney, Sean Farrell, Jarrett Davidson is under one right now. He's going to get a contract. Laval will be really where they're going to have that kind of the foundation of all the prospects together play for Laval Rocket. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that they're working towards fortifying the Laval team as well, and they got to get some experience in there. So there's too many young prospects there right now. They need some good experience.
Yeah, absolutely about this one. Can we talk about another point about this one? Listen up there, we have a super chat now for Claude Richard from Ottawa. Our friend Claude did it again. Claude Richard. Super chat, Mr. Claude Richard, Mr. on top of the second of the night, $6.99. We
I
appreciate a lot. The guys, you do that for the Hockey Nation Live show. We are very kind of you about this, Mr. on top. The Pittsburgh Penguins is the last team win the Stanley Cup with one of the scorer point in the Stanley Cup 2009. It's about chemistry.
it's 14
about
years.
Yeah, it's about chemistry for Mr. on top. Is to find the right piece of the puzzle to play together. I really believe this is the reason why sometimes it's not a 100, but more the all the patch up together. Anybody remember, Mr. Notap? You remember the Nova Scotia Voyageur?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
Al McNeil, Irving Grunkman, Mr. Notap. Remember Irving?
Irving Grundman. Yes, of course. Montreal. Yeah.
John Brophy, Mr. Notap.
Okay. And Leafs.
Remember John Brophy?
Yes.
You don't remember? He was looked like the guy who sell the trash can, the trash bag. You know what I'm talking about? Like you have a white hair.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So I'm sorry about that, but I was excited about this to tell you that. When he Look, that's why we love him. Do you know what he said, Mr. Notap?
No, what do you say?
That's a good one. He said, Coach is reading yesterday chat. That's a good one about that one over there. Oh my God, no room in the big blob. And there's a marker and the new Senator goalie going to be enough to get them into the playoff. This is the team right now. They are really like they have the asset, they have the piece, and now it's they put all together. I think this is where I believe they're missing right now. Is to get there and they have to figure out about the brain cap. But I think that we're helping about the fact they have only Anderson last year, Talbot, and then of course Forsberg got hurt. They have two good rookie goaltender, Sogard and Melisez or Melusochez. I can't remember his last name anyway. That's satisfied that maybe the goaltending situation, but still missing a couple of pieces. But it's a team that could become a better. Maybe a team not out of the playoff right now. They are out of the playoff. Could maybe make the playoff, Mr. Nota.
Yeah, absolutely, and hopefully they'll have a healthy Chikrin as well next year, who could play with Sanderson, and then you got maybe Shabbat with Zub, Brandstrom, and I don't know who the sixth defenseman there is. I think it's Hamonic, if I'm not mistaken, but. Their defense is coming around too. They picked up a good goalie. I don't think that'll hurt them. And there's still a whole DeBrincat situation that has to be resolved. But the most important area of improvement, Coach, was the fact that finally we have new ownership. That cloud, that black cloud that was hanging over them all of last year, and even hints of it prior to that, is gone. They seem to be a very dedicated group towards the team. So we're going to see, and that tends to trickle down, right? So I think, like I said earlier, you're looking for a dark horse. I would say Ottawa.
What's it about this one? There, Zev Lecav is in the house. Welcome back, Zev. Someone talking about you now. You pick it up. Welcome back. G, great comments about this one over there. I too about Edmondson. I agree with you. The app should have keep Edmondson. Jake. Waiting for the trade deadline, Mr. Frederick Risky with Edmondson back issue. I think he's right about this, Mr. Bourne to be abs. Don't forget, guys, tomorrow night we're going to be back with the Montreal Canadiens Ab Nation on Monday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Mr. Natap, are you still hanging here?
I'm here.
All right. Alex Nylander to result sound good to me for G about this one over there. G is back in the house. Try to pick it up here. Primo should be traded to the Philly for Joe Manella. I think the days are over, Mr. Nata, for Primo.
I think so.
About Zev Lecam, Mr. Nata, I have this for you.
Montreal, anyways.
Coach, with our 3 first pick, we got a 2D with a 1 day potential of 23 already top 6 when you did Le Crochet. for New Hook, Le Crochet. I like that one with that New Hook. Are you agree with that? I do a lot of great questions, guys, on my poll. I think you should look more my poll question of the day. But ask this question: are you agree or disagree? The Montreal get New Hook for the 31 overall pick at 37. Are you feel comfortable with that?
I still maintain it was a little bit too high of a price to pay. I wish it had been, either 31 and maybe a third or fourth round pick, or 37 with a third round pick. It just seems like they handcuffed themselves in terms of getting another quality either forward, or if they really were after Robic, the goalie, that would have been a good situation. But you know what? In the end, it is what it is, and hopefully, New Hook will work out.
Yeah, a particular normal draft, the 31st, 37, they have only 30% to make the NHL at the end of the day, Mr. Tap. That said, they're not going to make
But
it.
it was stronger this year, though. That's the difference.
That's my point. So a normal draft, it should be about 30%. Now they get something already played one of the 59 game, and then that's the reason why the percentage is more on the side on the New Hook versus the two other player was select at 31st and 37. But I don't say that. I will say to you, Mr. Tap, look in the 5 years, the plus draft between 28 to 40, how many games they're going to play NHL, what they would look like compared to New Hook. That would be something similar I would compare in the future about that. I have no problem for me. They select, they trade that to pick for New Hook. It satisfies one of the position what they're looking for at the bottom six to have a guy can skate and do very well on the dirt. On the 200 game, a lot of comments right now between Nylander. Maybe go to Chicago about William Nylander. That would be something could happen there about this one. The back in the chat on looking down. Allah, Mr. Tap got a lot of money on anyone did an UFA. I think he is the right one. A higher number. I think he signed a 2-year contract, Mr. Tap, 7.75, right?
Yeah, he did. But he was one of the big fish to acquire in the UFA. One of the few that it was left over. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I'm sorry about this. The thing about this, Mr. Tap, in the past, how many times you get a UFA at $8 million, $9 million, right? And not this year.
Exactly.
About this one, we're getting more. Mr. Tap, we're hitting the bottom at the bottom right now. Don't forget, guys, to click on the likes. Mr. Tap, ladies and gentlemen, back in the house after missing a lot of shows. Mr. Tap, do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't. Ooh.
Pete Martin is in the house tonight, Mr. Tap.
Oh my God!
He is in
or
the house.
Or at least he was
tonight.
a half an hour ago. Welcome, Pierre.
Like a 43 New Hook, great pickup. Will the ad beat up with Lessinger, Boston, Gary Finder, Stibit or not? Here we go, Pierre. If you are here for the last 20 minutes, and we answer all your questions at the same time. I appreciate that, Pierre. We miss you, buddy. Hopefully, you're going to go back. And Dan, Mr. Natap, is still in the house with Colette. Thanks so much, Dan, to be a big supporter of the Hockey Nation Live Show.
Welcome, Dan.
A lot of great conversation tonight between Sebastien and Ryan and Zeph. The guys, you rock and roll the shot, and Danny is under controlling everything. William McClary said that Vegas with Scott Luce as a head coach running player development, one of the best in the shot. If Florida success with the Ziv player, it really is responsible. Also hired by Vegas in 2016 after Florida Panthers. A great point about this, Scott Luce. Is it related with Don Luce, Mr. Ostap?
That's a good question. I think he is. I do believe he is, but I'm not going to wager anything on that.
All right.
That's a good question for a Frenchie quiz, you know?
Yeah, I also want to look about this one there. Maybe William knows. Sometime it's on the tap. Did he play in NHL?
Don Luce, yes. Yeah.
No, Scott Luce never played in NHL.
Oh, Scott, no.
Yeah. We have
Don
only
Luce
one name,
did,
Mr. Tap. Don't lose play in NHL.
Yeah.
I was just curious about
Doesn't
this.
mean they're not related. Doesn't mean they're not related.
Absolutely right about this one over there. A lot of people say basically could get enrollment like anything like that. I believe frontally a backup will work. Mr. Tap, what do you think about this?
Yeah, yeah. I'm hesitating, William, because I don't know. Babcock hasn't had a great track record with young developmental players, but you know what? I think he'll be okay. I Overall, I think he's okay. I think he was a little bit treated unfairly here in Toronto when he was here. Um, I think more was made of that situation than needed to be made. So
It's a thing to watch him, Mr. Tap. If the goaltender can hanging there, right? They have a good year. I don't know they will. Muskilkin and Tarazov, I believe his last name. They add a lot of good pace on the defenseman. The defense of Mr. Tap were Wawrinski, Provorov, and then
yeah,
you have Bovis, and they have the rookie over there. And the defenseman is better what we expect, Mr. Tap. But the second thing, now they have Laney, now have Fintely, they have Goodrow. They have a lot of great prospects. Zellinger is another one. The Russian kid,
yeah,
Chirarov, I believe his last name, whatever, or is it Marchenko?
sure,
Uh,
Chevko. Yeah,
yeah, you know what I mean. We have to. They are a better team. What I believe the maybe people would expect. It's a team I can compare with them exactly like Marcel, Ottawa Senator, the Detroit and the Buffalo are on the same wave. Like they are the next team going maybe make the NHL playoff. I don't say Columbus won't make it, but they could compete more with the expect compared last season, Mr. Top.
yeah, yeah. Well, they can only go up, right?
Yeah. 1 point here, Mr. Top. You have a decision to take. What do you think now? Will Hart at the back can go?
Well, Hellebuck, I mean, he stated that he doesn't want to come back to Winnipeg, so I do anticipate something happening there. Hart,
Well, now we have a lot
that's a
of
little
teams
bit
signed the
dicier.
goaltender, right? So this is really interesting. Now
Yeah,
at the back, this door is is getting closer.
I know, but there's still a couple teams that are entertaining the possibility. The problem with Hellebuck is not only does he want the 9 million plus, he also wants the term. So teams are not, as we saw so far in the free agency days, teams aren't willing to go that long term anymore. There's that uncertainty in terms of the health issue. Hellebuck, I mean, he's not old yet, but he is nearing 30. I think he's 29 right now, or he might even be 30. So you sign him 8 years. I know goalies usually tend to last a little bit longer than regular players, but you're going to run a big risk if you bring him in for 8 years.
Yeah, I'm so right about this. Just turned 30 years old, Mr. Top. The problem with that part, the goaltender, at least the template of goaltender to win the Stanley Cup, you don't need a goaltender at $9 million, $10 million. I understand what Vyshynski did. I understand Proboski, but they believe now what happened with the Comper with the Colorado Avalanche, and they believe what happened with Hill. If he can get a city goaltender at $5-6 million, this is what the template on the salary cap, and
Yeah.
that's the reason it could happen about this. So time you disappear. Well, I don't know what happened to you. I don't know if I can fix this one over there.
That's okay.
Hold on. We're going to get there right there. Hold on.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect.
There we go. So it's because when we get tired, that's what we reduce the percentage. About this one there. He asked, do you take Art and Alibak with the Montreal Canadiens?
No, definitely not Hellebuck. Hart could possibly be something that, I mean, there has been chatter around that, but I don't see it either, to be
We're
honest
not
with
there
you.
yet,
I
right?
don't think, yeah, we're not there yet. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I think we are right there. What do you think of the Jet war they did and free agent Francis Missantap?
Well, with the haul that they got back for Pierre-Luc Dubois, I mean, if you stop to think about it, from LA, they got an entire line out of them, plus the draft pick. So you can't blame him for that. They re-signed on Nemesnikov as well, which was a great move. You know, they rid themselves of the Wheeler deal. They bought him out. If you know, they were always talking about being problems in the locker room with these guys. Maybe they've addressed it. We'll see what happens now with Scheifele and Hellebuck specifically. But they're still going to have holes. But I think that they did well, given that they had no bargaining really over Pierre-Luc Dubois and other teams, and yet they come up with a solid line that gives them that balance up front.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. A lot of good comments about this. I like the Danny said to kill the mosquitoes about this one there. Carlson of the State, thanks so much, Claude Richard and Raju for the super chat. Look at Fortune say Carlson at the stage of one Ibon left about this one over there. Try to pick it up, everybody. We are almost at the end, Mr. Tap. Zep, have a good night, and then Randy. And I thought, what do you think of the Wheeler going to the Rangers?
Again, I don't quite see the fit there in the Rangers. I'll be honest with you. It seems like at this stage now, they did a great job to develop some of their players and to get to the stage where they're at, coach. But I don't know why you bring in Wheeler. You know, they had Tarasenko, they had Kane. That was very experimental. It was something they just threw together there. Wheeler, maybe, I mean, he does bring some experience, of course, but I don't know. I don't know if I don't know how that fit in their plans. I think they're kind of grasping at straws right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry about this one over there. Jake, he said, John Brophy, coach and Birmingham Bulls and WHA. Yeah, I'm sorry about this one over there. For sure. The New York Rangers signed a bunch of players, guys. At least like less than $1 million.
Yeah.
Talk about Bonino and Nash and then Wheeler. But interesting what the Chris Rory tried to, you know, sometimes the move are really surprisingly everyone about this. Coach, do you see a Canadian team winning the cup again, Mr. Natap?
We talking about this year, Luke, or
No,
in the near future?
When do you expect this?
I mean, Toronto's not that far off, really. Montreal is building towards something that'll take a much longer time. I think Ottawa is really in a good position. I mean, you're right in terms of the Western teams, Vancouver, Calgary, and Winnipeg. There's problems there, but let's not forget Edmonton's probably the closest of all these teams in achieving that goal, and I think it could happen.
Yeah, Dan, no, with the night, they just signed Hill, and I don't think so. They will go at the back over there. Francois Pitt is in the house. Welcome, Francois. Thanks for stop by. Say hi. Join McKinnon for when it looked like a good gamble, Francois. Yeah, we talk about this. And our tab could mention earlier maybe 60 points for Drouin. For that, I think there's a great point about this. Glad to see Francois back with Pierre Martin about this, Mr. Tap. Who do you think will be the 12 forward for Montreal, Mr. Tap?
I think it's pretty much set right now. We're not going to see a huge difference than last year. Obviously, you brought in Newhook now.
Senator, I'm going to make this happening, though, but don't worry about that. I will fix it.
That's better.
That will help you a little bit more about this one there.
Exactly.
I know he's small here, but guys, is better to nothing here.
Okay. It's good.
But you have Kaufman, Doc, Newhook, Monahan, Anderson, Sakoski, Devorak, Gallagher, Hoffman, Evans, Armia, Pitlick, Harvey, Pinard, Pesada, Islander, and Eman. Now, guys, this is the contract signed for the Montreal Canadiens minus RHP and Islander. All those players we mentioned are a contract NHL. So that's the reason they are dead, or the Montreal maybe expect those players. Just give this, Mr. Tap. That give them right now 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 forward.
Too many forwards. Yeah.
Right? So that'll give you an example. To drop at 14, if they go 14-7, that would be the one they're looking for this year. You have to remove 2 players on this list over there. I think Pitlick will be out, and they're going to keep one of the 2, Heinemann or Allen, on that list over there. Now, that's the reason they try to trade so much hard Hoffman. That will give up another spot. And remember, they were not going to start the season. That will keep them, maybe a Pitlick or an Heinemann or Allen around the team at the beginning of the
Harvey
season.
Pinard. Yeah, Harvey Pinard will definitely be there.
Yeah. So interesting. Like I said, guys, this is not like a line I decided to do. It's just like the plug put on this one over there. And you can see the defensemen, Mr. Tap, Madison, Barron, Coley, Savard, Edmondson, Harris, Jekai, Whiteman, and Kovacevic. That give you 9 defensemen. That's the reason they trade Edmondson. This was before they got trades. I give them 8 defensemen, and the goaltender is going to be only 2 of them. So give you a little bit a projection of the line or the players for the Montreal roster. And that's the reason, Mr. Tab, you said earlier, he was not very active. We're going to talk more tomorrow night about the show. The reason he was not active because they have already filled up their spot as a player on the roster, right?
Yeah, exactly. And now with Edmondson and possibly Weidman as well will be gone. That leaves you with 7 defensemen, which is what they intend to go with.
Yeah, so if you think about the list they have right now, remove Edmondson that dropped at 8, and if you go 14-7, Whiteman will be the next one, I believe. At least,
Yeah.
I will say to you one thing here. Possible Jekai is not ready to start the season at 100%.
Because of the injury, the shoulder?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. And,
You know what I mean?
And we know they're going to take proper precautions to make sure he's
that's the reason
100%.
behind that. So on the list, we see and Whiteman go down, and then you get that situation. I don't say he deserved to go there. I don't say he get there, but it possibly is a direction go get that one there. Great comment, Francois, about Edmondson. That's the reason we are going to get that. That's the reason that. Do you think the Jet will make the playoff next year, Mr. Tap? Yes or no?
Probably not.
I agree with you about this.
It's early. It's early still, but it's going to be tough.
Scott Lewis is the son of Don Lewis. That was my expectation about that one. I don't think it was cousin.
They are related.
But yes, that's what we said about this. Me, right coach, and player person in Buffalo about this. About Pralin signé Regas one with the third Wildander. François Newhook will have a great opportunity to prove his value as a player. I think it will surprise Montreal Canadiens Habs. Wheeler, a 4-line with the New York Wheeler. About that, I don't know if you Wheeler for the New York Rangers. Carlos, Coach Maxime Comtois seemed like a great fit for the Montreal Canadiens. Mr. Tap.
I don't see that. I don't see that right now. I think we have enough projects right now that we're undertaking with Newhook and hopefully Slavkovsky, and you don't need that additional piece.
Yeah, absolutely right, Mr. Tap. We don't need any more. That's the best answer I can give it to you now. We don't need. Maybe 1 year ago, but now we have filled up very well. About this one, Carlos, Scott de Longueuil, en plus, yeah, but I agree with you, Carlos. It's just like we don't have. We have too many prospects and the organization. RG, thanks so much for that. I agree with you, Gary. Thanks so much, Luciano, for the new subscriber to the App Nation channel. Get rid of DeVarek, Anderson, Gallagher, Armia, Hoffman, Pitlick. I get a better player for cheaper. You don't have to, Carlos. At the end of the day, right now, we have we have a lot of prospects coming soon. It'll be easy to trade DeVarek, Anderson, Gallagher, and Armia, by the way. I believe you gave away those players, but that's not the way to manage a team at the end. Maxime Comtois can replace Josh Anderson. Condois, Carlos, does not play very well for the last 2 years, unfortunately. Geez, the Rangers seem desperate. The younger player have to roll too many stars not produced in the playoff. Geez, we'll see what happening. Looks at Pitlick out, Allen out, Allen out. Still too many about that one over there. If you care so much about the culture that you don't pick a Mishkov, then you should buy out Hoffman contract. The problem with the buyout contract is it's going to make some money on the third camp. That's the problem. It's not going to help the situation, Francois. And to answer back to your question, Francois, Hoffman was not coming for that direction of the management. Hugo, he came from Mike Bergevin. So it's just a question of time about him to get there. Just coming off a championship with Denver. I think it's good sign. Without is able the money. About that, money is the key down the middle. Need to compete here and contribute. He talk money. I think he talk about money, and I think so. Right? I could be wrong about this one over there.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Zap, you know what happening?
We're done.
But Roger just go to the set 9 night. Everyone time to the bed. And Roger, but as happening at the same time, we are there, Mr. Natap. What a great night. Over 2 hours, 30 minutes, Mr. Natap. That's not happened a lot here during the time. Great. But you have so many things to cover. And there are a lot of people in the chat. Great comments. They have a great conversation between all of them. And it was all controlled by the captain, Danny T, and of course, Luciano Graziano. Luciano did a lot of comments. We skipped a couple of times, talk about Owen O'Reilly a bit earlier, but a great conversation between all of them. I don't know what you want to add, Mr. Natap, after a 2 hour sit there in front of your cameras. Is it done yet? What's going on here? But it's over, Mr. Natap. But I would like to hear what you think overall of the show tonight and what you're looking for tomorrow, maybe the next couple of days, Mr. Natap.
Yeah, I would even go further, Coach, and say the free agency period is not just one day, as we're seeing today. So
a lot of pyramids are not signed yet, right?
That's right, exactly.
Resenko.
And so they're gonna settle for smaller contracts, smaller amount, and this could happen right till the beginning of a training camp.
You're absolutely right, Mr. Tap. A lot of things follow the Montreal Canadian camp. Development camp is right now live, and I'm going to give you all the information. Right. Don't forget to add the news. I'm going to make a video about Jonathan Drouin. I'm going to make a video about all the news from Montreal Canadian. We talk about this tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern Time for another Ab Nation show. And Mr. Tap, where is the quiz? And after that, we're going to keep it for the next show, my friend. And look at what's in Mr. Tap, the statement of the night. He predict Montreal will fight a playoff spot if the injured bug go away about this one over there. One person talking about the medical staff, we maybe skip that one. I don't know if you answer. I cannot remember. I apologize for that person. Did you answer about the medical staff? What they bring on the table?
We did. Yeah, we did bring that a little bit into discussion.
You did it. I did not do it, but you did it, my friend. What a great night, guys. I can't wait. Guys, I ask you please stand up. Everybody have to stand up for applause, standing ovation for our friend in our top tonight. He did it again. He did it again because what coach he did. What we need to stand up tonight is because he is.
You are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you.
He has greatness inside of him like he does every single time he pop up inside of the Hockey Nation live streaming show every night. And when we are here is Mr. Enoch Tap. Thanks so much, Mr. Enoch Tap, for everything you accomplished tonight. This is the beginning of the week, guys, for everybody. First week of the July. And what happening with that one, Mr. Enoch Tap, is this way. Be well, BL. Find a way not only dominate your day, but now find a way to dominate the second half of the 2023, Mr. Naptap. Are you ready to make this happening to you?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. We wish you an amazing, great night, Mr. Naptap, and a sweet dream. And of course, remember, the Hockey Nation I Show want to tell you one more thing. We love you, friends. Have an amazing, great night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Good night, Coach.
Thank you.
Should I say so? We're just putting on
Booyah! Late on that one.